work with this because I was gonna be okay. Well, good. Who's announcing? Who's announcing? Who's announcing?
Yeah, I'll do it. Let's see. Hello, everyone, and welcome to TeeHee TV.
But TeeHee TV. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm not translating. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I am the lonely Viltrumite, victim of my own success. And with me today is Stone Cold Killer.
Bitch.
Yeah. Ha. And Damien J. Whatever the fuck. Yeah. Say hello, guys.
It's whatever the fuck. Good morning.
All right, so today we are going to be discussing season 3 of, at least I think it's season 3 of
It is.
Invincible. Okay. So let's get to it.
I kept questioning that to him. Like, I was like, wait, was it season 4? No, it was definitely season 3. It just, I don't know. For some reason, it feels like we've seen 3 seasons already. But I guess it was just.
It really does. It really
I guess
feels
because
like we have
the
seen
last
3
one was
seasons.
split up. I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
Disappointo. Hold up.
Disappointo, you didn't like season 3 of Invincible.
I wouldn't say I didn't like it at all, but I mean,
Disappointable.
come on, guys. You guys didn't feel like at some point that you were transported into into Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice?
You mean like
Superman,
towards the end?
What does Superman Dawn of Justice have to do with anything?
Spark. Oh, what the fuck his name was? Electro. The Spark guy.
Yeah. Damn it. He had a stupid name.
Power. Was it
The
Power
Aaron
Block?
Paul character.
Was it Power Block or Power fucking? What the fuck was it?
It was a dumb name, and I just can't remember it. Charles, do you remember? Surely, one of us has to remember.
I'm trying to remember.
Power Bottom.
Power Bottom.
That would have been a good name.
I'm trying to remember. What are we talking about again in Dawn of Justice?
No, from Invincible. The electric guy, voiced by Aaron Paul.
Oh, Powerplex.
Powerplex, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you sure it was Plex or not, or Flex? It was Powerplex.
It was Powerplex.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That part I felt like I was in. I felt like I was in Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, except they turned the guy into a mid villain, a mid super villain, or a mid villain, I guess.
Yeah, and that guy ended up getting his own wife and child killed because of his own rage over the death of his sister and niece.
Yeah, they amped it up, and they put, and they put, and he put Aaron Paul's, voice behind it, and everything like that, but it still felt like it was like that guy, I forget his name, where, where, his coworkers and whatnot, were crushed in the building because of Superman's fight with Zod, and basically went on this whole thing about trying to hold him accountable. I just felt like I was transported right back into that. Honestly, totally honestly. And then once it, and
I thought Aaron Paul did a good performance in that role.
Yes, as he does, but it was done in a very it was a very thrown in there thing that I just felt like, I don't know. I think we could have did without that.
I guess it.
Go ahead.
I guess it's sort of. Yeah, you probably could have skipped that.
I think, and to try to make it into a deeper, continuous story, to where we gotta look forward to this again. I just don't know why or whatever the fuck these brain things were. Like, the fuck. Could we not have focused on that a little more?
Oh, you mean the brain leech things from Mars?
Yeah, could we not have focused on that just a little more?
Instead of it being a tiny teaser at the very end of the season.
Very much. The things at the end were the most mind blowing for me. Were the most like, what the fuck is going on right here? Especially towards the end. Like I'm sitting here like, okay, what the fuck is? Why couldn't we explore this a little bit more instead of power bottom?
Let's just go with that. If it's easy to remember.
You know what?
Let's go
You know
with
what?
that.
No. He's not Powerplex anymore. He's Power Bottom.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, that was just so unnecessary. Like he should have dealt with something like this in like the second season at the very latest. Honestly, somebody like this and dealing with a situation like that. To deal with to be in the third season and he's just dealing with, you know what I'm saying, that nah, come on, man. Seriously, no. It's just
Because it is a bit more of like a proving ground kind of enemy.
How do you handle, you know what I'm saying, like unpacking and dealing with the, you know what I'm saying, with the situation? They stretched it out all the way to the, I just don't know. I don't know. Just weird to me. It just weird to me how they kind of stretched it out to the third season instead of unpacking the whole situation with the tragedy, and you know what I'm saying, at least by the end of the second season. I just don't get it, and I still don't get why they want to keep trying to push my man and make him like this quirky, you know, plucky fuck up. It's like even with Eve, he can't seem to be comfortable with the fact that she understands what the life of a superhero is like, and he is just still being weird about shit. It's like, God damn, man, where is the comfort? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so glad, by the way, that they it's so funny. I'm so glad that they distance him away from Amber a bit, but it's just so weird how they just keep trying to like force her and like force her to the point of acting like, oh yeah, she got with a black guy who is pretty much the black version of, you know, say a fucking Mark. You know what I'm saying? Like what?
Yeah, because what did they bond over again? It was
The fucking doofy
like
ass
this? I
superhero
liked it.
dog.
That's right, yeah.
The doofy superhero dog. He was wearing the fucking shirt. At least Mark was trying to fucking hide it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? At least he was trying to be more low key with it because he realized he's older. So he was trying to be more low key with it. Like, yeah, we're gonna play the black dude. We're gonna play the black version. It's like he's just way out with that.
I got an Astro Dog shirt. How are you? Oh, you read that? I read that. Wow.
And he's wearing that shirt, and they're gonna act, and she's gonna act like she's surprised. She's surprised by this information. Like, but he's wearing the shirt, so I mean, there's no way he hadn't mentioned it at least some way somehow. As low key as Mark was trying to be about, you know what I'm saying, about the superhero dog, space dog, she still seemed to find out. At least if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
So it was just that. I mean, like I said, the overall stuff. Now, I will say the multiples, that was an interesting take. I will say that.
That's something I actually wish went on a bit longer. I was really enjoying that whole. I mean, you know, how long can you really stretch it out? But I was hoping for just a bit more. Yeah, there was so many.
I guess you can't. I guess you can't outwit Black Brainiac. So you know.
No, it's true. Angstrom.
I swear. And okay, yeah. I have to admit, the worst part for me, Oliver.
He's like, enough with this queen. Get him out of here.
Yeah, I
I'll,
wasn't really a fan of Oliver either. It just
I don't know, like, what
He
is it?
serves no
Like,
purpose anymore.
it's not about, see, the thing about it, not about serving a purpose. Maybe he does, because I'm really thinking about, like, what is it about him as a half Viltrumite and and this half space insect that makes him
Oh wait,
so.
Oliver. I was thinking if I called him. I was thinking of his friend, his college slash high school friend.
You're calling the gay friend useless. Okay, awesome.
I was
Gotcha.
saying like he doesn't really have a purpose much anymore. He's just kind of around to be put in peril.
And sit in his big boyfriend's lap.
Yeah, who's all tortured and stuff, literally and mentally. No, Oliver. Yes, yes.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's the fact of his half Viltrumite, saying DNA mixing with this space insect, because they seem to be a very gentle, a gentle species out there. But like I don't know what it is that makes him so fucking arrogant and so fucking just like what the fuck is it?
I'd
Is it the
say
fact?
it's the rapid aging.
But where does that
He's
come
going.
from?
That comes from the combination of the DNA. Because the insects, I think they only live like a couple of months or something like that. It was a very short period, but then Viltrumites live for an absurd length of time. So it's the two kind of not competing, I guess, kind of competing with each other, but blending at the same time.
So you're saying Viltrumites are born with this fucking innate fucking arrogance. They're born with this.
No, not that. It's more just the way he's growing up. He's going through, like
But it's like it's not even the fact that he got his powers earlier, but it's the fact that he thinks that he's just so fucking ready. You know what I'm saying? Just so fucking ready and just so fucking like it's like no part. It's like every part of him seems to sense the weight of his powers, but cannot seem to balance the weight of the responsibility. And you keep blaming it on youth, but he seems to be very, very well versed in his powers and what he can do and what he thinks, and so on and so forth. And even dealing with death. So we gotta stop doing the child thing. He doesn't basically take the response. I mean, where the fuck is like he's already got that Viltrumite arrogance and disregard, and the Viltrumites are a fucking they are a fucking I'm realizing that they are a fucking like contradictory race.
in what manner?
They abhor they all, I'm saying, like just the thought of what, I'm saying, of what Conquest was saying. Like as much as much brutality as they reign, even on their own people, to weed out the strongest ones, but to act like a guy who is more brutal than others is somebody to distance themselves from. It's just stuff like that. The thing about feelings and things, but they seem to, almost everything they seem to try to disregard or distance themselves from. They seem curious about. They
It's this
seem
it's this bizarre detachment that they have. It's
or try to have or
you'll
try
try to
to
have,
have.
yeah. Because like the whole thing is like, you're going down to conquer this planet, you do what you got to do, but you don't make connections and all these sort of unwritten rules that they have. Like you sort of
Oh
wonder
yeah.
like what's the society like within themselves? Like I guess they probably don't have husbands and wives or anything. It's probably, procreation purely to further the race kind of thing, I would think. But I don't know. Maybe it is just like, you can have a loving relationship here on Viltrum, but once you go out there, no, you stop that.
I just I don't know. It just seems like a lot of times I don't know. it's like I just really feel like they're always trying to fight against what I guess it's natural no matter what species you're dealing with, you know, and they try their best to fucking like fight against even that, even within themselves. I think I even think the weeding out of what perceived to be the weaker Viltrumites, it's just another way of them fighting against themselves. You know what I'm saying? It was just it was a more visual, physical way, you know what I'm saying, to display it. But then they're constantly having a fight within themselves over their own feelings, over their own wants, over their own needs, you know what I'm saying, to keep up this steel, you know what I'm saying, this steel curtain of you know what I'm saying, of fucking dominance.
For the good of the empire.
And also, I guess, the good of the secret. You know.
That's one thing I would like to see is like like a, I don't know, if a flashback or like something said on Viltrum at some point. But get into their society a little bit.
I think with that secret, I mean, you remember the secret I'm talking about, right?
Oh, that there's only however many left.
Yeah,
Well,
less than what people might
like
imagine.
pure blood left.
Yeah, less than what people might imagine. Says
I think it was like 60 or something, right? It was a fairly low number, or 100 maybe. Like
I thought it was less than 30.
That seems
it could be less than
low,
50, but I thought it was less than 50. It could have been less than 50,000, but I thought I thought I heard less than 30,000.
I don't think it was even 1,000.
Do you, Charles?
Sorry, I just got back. I had to go take care of something.
How many actual Viltrumites did Omni-Man say are actually left?
Oh, that was I think he told what was his name? Alan, I think is his name. He told
Yes.
Alan the alien. I think he said there was like less than 50 Viltrumites in the entirety of the universe.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was like extremely low. Well, it was.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure it was pure
Well,
blood.
he specifically said it was less than 50 pure blood Viltrumites.
Yeah.
There are more we don't know how many there are like impure, as in like half Viltrumites or like quarter Viltrumites. We don't know how many of those are out there. But we do know that as for like pure blood Viltrumites, there are less than 50.
Which are pretty much the only ones you really need to worry about.
Yes.
Well, seriously worry about.
Well, that either speaks to turmoil within the empire, or you know, or basically battles that are where the half breeds have like taken up against the purebloods.
Yeah, I could see a bit of that. I could see a bit of both, really, and then I could see a lot of Nolan type situations where they've sent people out to conquer planets and hasn't exactly gone that way. They've found something there that found a family or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But their fucking ridiculous obsession with Nolan in this situation almost suggests to me that doesn't happen very often, if at all, that somebody does what he did, because
or
they
it's
seem
happened so much that they're cracking down as hard as possible because they don't, this can't continue. We need to make sure that people, people know that this is you can there's so few of us left. You can't be doing this.
But it is another way to look at it. That is another way to look at it.
It could go into any direction. It could go into either direction. It could like Damien said, it could be happening so much that they need to crack down, or it could happen so few that that they could be fascinated by what Nolan is doing. That where am I going with this? Fuck. I think I might have just like poked holes into my own point. I don't know.
Let me guys on the sidebar while you're pulling that together. Let me guys ask you a question. Should there be sort of like a modern day, like just thinking in the superhero universe lore? Should there be like a modern day Mount Olympus for them?
What do you mean?
Like
Like, like Batman, Spider-Man, insert two others like that. Is that what you mean? Like who would
like
be
like thinking about Greek mythical culture, and like there was like a Mount Olympus, or there was like the heavens or whatever, where they kind of existed, there a bit, unless coming down to deal with humankind, what I'm saying, in certain ways, is it really feasible for superheroes to sort of like just kind of blend and intermingle just regularly among humankind? Should there be sort of like not so much a separate society, but at least an area, where they can kind of be and relate, not just so much of a a superhero headquarters, but just an area where they can kind of just be themselves in whatever way that is and relate to each other.
like almost like a social club?
Or like a very small exclusive gated community in a way.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, but I was like, yeah, that seems a bit too. Because then at that point you do almost have like your separate society. But yeah, because like with the headquarters, it's not like, hey, we're just we're gonna check in and hang out. Like it's you go there for specific purposes.
Yeah, or you
I guess.
or you're staying there and it's constantly like you're working with someone, or it's hardly feeling like a home situation. But maybe your actual home is near the facility. And you know what I'm saying? And and you don't always have to feel like, you know, we got to go to work. We got to go there with our stuff already under our shit and do all of this. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, I just feel like, I mean, not like again, it's not like a permanent separation, but at least more of a separation to where people are, to where at least like they're not feeling like they have to be either a completely different person to to be like they almost don't exist, or they exist as only as a regular person. And it like, why, whenever they want to do that, they can just do that. But to have that be part of their everyday thing, maybe that shouldn't have to be a part of their everyday thing.
Like just to be able to drop the charade for like an hour and
Or
just
at least
fucking
or at least
exist.
most of the time. And then if you want to go down there and kind of exist in, what I'm saying, the regular life, go out to a club or whatever, go to a movie, because it's not going to be all of that, what I'm saying, there. It's just more of an area where you can just feel comfortable, and and it's just basically, okay, we can just go in our regular stuff, and and maybe go to this facility, and no one's going to be weirded out by that. Nobody's going to be wondering, oh, is that a superhero? Who's that? Or anything like that. They can, it's just, and then if they want to just go, hey, be a regular person and just kind of go and exist in the public, then they can do that whenever they feel like it. But it doesn't have to be a part of their everyday thing.
Hmm. I mean, I'm sure it would have its benefits for sure.
What you think up there, Lonely Vulture Mike?
I wanted to bring light to a comment here. Yeah, what do you think of this?
Okay. Well,
I mean,
yeah. Like, is there an element of what's the word I'm looking for? Gratification
Well,
that's
go ahead.
necessary.
he makes an interesting point. It's just like superpowered individuals being surrounded by their own kind. It would get depressing. It would get boring. So maybe they would want to spend time with people that would be classified as quote unquote normal. Maybe because they would maybe get a sense of be like a superiority complex. They would want to feel superior. They'd want to feel powerful. They'd want to like Damien said. They'd want to feel gratified. Feel like, oh,
Even
I'm more powerful than you are, and you can tell me how powerful I am. That kind of thing.
and even just that, like, the Superman's hanging out with, I don't know, let's say Wonder Woman. And he's like, "Hey, watch me throw this football over that mountain," and she's just like, "Okay, watch me throw this football over that mountain." And she's like, "Oh man."
But if Superman did that with Lois Lane, I don't even think Lois Lane would be impressed.
No, at a certain point.
But
There's places
but
you
if
can
he
go. There's people just
but if he uses heat vision to cut, you know what I'm saying, to cut a mountain in half, she could still be impressed by that because there's levels of superheroes.
Yeah, I don't think she would be though. I guess it depends on what point in their relationship you're talking about. Like the first year, sure. 5, 6 years in, she's just like, "Yeah, I get it. Would you fucking take out the garbage?"
I mean,
Yeah, it's something like that. It's just it's
he
like,
could.
you can throw that football like twice across the planet. It's like, good for you. Now take me to work. I need to like.
He could punch a hole
Yeah,
in the moon.
he could do that, and then end all life on Earth as we know it.
I'm just saying, like Ramona even spoke on that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Superman could punch a hole in the moon for her. Ramona from Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Just saying, little callback to that.
I didn't get the reference, but I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
You guys
Yeah,
sometimes.
not saying I didn't enjoy it, but it's not like I don't, watch it frequently.
Oh God, and what's ironic? Thinking about that movie connecting into Hot Fuzz, as the director and whatnot. It's so funny. There's a movie coming out, where the female cop in Hot Fuzz is like, oh God, in a movie where she's married to Benedict Cumberbatch. Just wow. Am I a terribly superficial person that I feel like there was just something just way off balance with that?
Maybe just a little bit. But hey, I was thinking the same thing.
Are you talking about the female cop from Hot Fuzz that was making all those vulgar jokes?
Yes. I guess they're doing a new reimagine. I want to say reimagination, but whatever. They're doing something based on the War of the Roses. It's simply called The Roses. Where this I don't know if you ever heard of that, where this couple, I guess both of them, I guess named Rose, basically, I guess eventually started, became disillusioned in their marriage and wanted to divorce, wanted to separate, but neither one of them wanted to leave the house. So they began this campaign of torturing each other to get the other one to leave and everything like that. Yeah, it was just, I think they're trying to do this again, but like I said, I just found it like, wow, like her, and then it's just so, you got her over here, and then you got Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm just like, okay.
It's like, you do what you want, but don't expect me to buy it.
I'm just saying, like I'm just not like acting like she's just like she's just like the bridge troll. But I'm just saying, like they're just still balanced. There's just still balance that you feel like you should want to see. I feel like but maybe I'm just a terribly superficial person.
Some kind of parody that's just like, okay, I get it.
Wait,
Uh-oh.
this is not at all what I was expecting from this movie. This is a comedy.
What, the roses?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Is there a
Yeah,
trailer for it yet? Since it
There
brought me
is.
in,
Yes,
There
there
is.
is.
I just wanted to come in and see who with these fucking chats were that you weren't reading, you jerks. I'm driving
I can't even see
and I'm
them.
like, what? What are they talking about? What? I don't get it. What is the comment?
He pulled up. He pulled it up. He pulled
I
it up.
can't see it. I'm driving.
Okay. But he
People
did.
listen to these programs.
Yeah.
Two of you don't even have cameras on.
He did
My
read
audio
it.
sucks.
You did read it, didn't you, Charles? Charles read it.
No,
He didn't read it.
no.
Read
Oh, and now
what?
this idiot's saying my name. But anyway, The Roses has a trailer, huh? Jim was in a movie. Weird, disturbing character he played. I don't know who this person is. Anyway, I don't know how to do things. Take it away. I messed up. I just wanted to, I wanted to ask about The Roses. So there's a trailer. Is it a series or a movie?
It's a
It
movie.
seems like it's a movie, and like I said, the thing that got me at first was just like I said, the pairing of Benedict Cumberbatch over here. You know what I'm saying? Pretty British man. With oh my god, I forget her name, but like I said, lady
Olivia Colman.
Okay, yeah, and it's like, wow, it's just.
What can I say? I'm good with names. She also played one of the versions of the British Queen in The Crown.
Yeah, you would know that.
Hey,
Yeah, I know. I know.
the
I know
show.
none of these things.
I watched the show. Don't
I
judge.
know you did.
Yeah, it's just the
What?
matching was
It
the
was
matching
a good
was just
show.
the matching.
Who's
was just
playing-
bizarre.
Who's playing the Danny DeVito character?
There's no Danny DeVito character in the movie.
I'm not sure.
In the
I'm
War of
not
the Roses, there is Charles Whedon.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure just yet.
I bet
Not
it's a
sure.
lady.
It may be.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at the IMDb page right now, and I do not see Danny DeVito in the cast list.
No, what he means is explain what you mean.
I mean, in the original film, War of the Roses,
What I'm saying, like, what was his character like in that movie for you?
he was a lawyer, I believe.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't remember.
Okay. It's going to be Allison Janney, possibly.
I don't know who she be.
I know the
Allison
name.
Janney from Mom, from Bad Words, from
Oh,
Allison
no.
Janney.
Never seen none of these things. Don't like them either. They sound very disgusting. Alice and Janney.
rude.
But she might be. But then they also have what is her name? Why am I forgetting her name from Rough Night? Why am I forgetting her name? The one who played the Australian in that movie with them. God, why am I forgetting her name? She's on Saturday Night Live, and I keep forgetting her fucking name. Kate McKinnon.
Oh, okay.
She's in there too. She's in the Roses movie too.
Yeah, someone I've never been a fan, really.
Didn't like Kate McKinnon, huh?
Nah, not really. I feel like most of her characters just seem the same.
I mean, except for that, she never played Australian, to my knowledge.
Well, I mean, on SNL. Can't speak to that.
Oh, okay.
It was always just kind of like, yeah, like certain cast members, just every character is just the same character with a different wig.
Did you happen to see the movie Rough Night though?
No.
I do recommend that. It's a pretty fucking funny movie. It's got, you know what I'm saying, it's got fucking Scarlett Johansson in there, who's surprisingly humorous in there. You know, I don't know why I'm saying surprisingly, but she I don't know, she hasn't been in a lot of humorous things lately.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say,
know?
like, I can't really ever think of seeing her in a comedy.
I mean, she was way back when she was in. I think she was in the Home Alone sequel.
Well, like 4 or something.
No, 2. No. Please don't associate her with the shit boxes. No, she was in 2. I think she was in 2.
Really?
I think. Okay, it could be 3. Fuck, it could be 3.
Yeah, that's when I picked up. Even as a kid, I was like, this movie stinks. 3. Yeah, I remember seeing 3. I can't remember how old I was. I was still very young, and I was like, this sucks. Fuck this movie.
1997. Yeah, it might be. Oh God, please don't tell me this is the one that she was in.
Don't spill that coffee, Jim.
It was. Oh God, it's when they changed over from the.
It was 3.
Yeah, it's when they changed over.
No.
Yeah, it's when they changed over from the McAllisters to the Pruitts.
Yeah, I barely even remember that movie. I just remember it's just like, this sucks. Who are these people?
Is he trying to give himself diabetes because he's putting a lot of sugar in that?
No. I'm sorry.
Would you like some coffee with your sugar?
No, you gotta go. You gotta go with Wilford Brimley's, you know what I'm saying, version pronunciation when you're seeing this. Diabetes.
Oh yeah, diabetes.
Diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes.
He's gonna have to live with diabetes.
Oh my God.
Diabetes will not beat us. Oh, come on.
We're making fun of diabetes, and I'm the one sitting here with actual diabetes.
That's what makes it okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it doesn't. We have to be sensitive first and say, woo. We're here for you. You know what I'm saying? We will sacrifice certain foods for you, Charles, because we understand.
I do not co-sign this.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
I'm gonna get it eventually.
But you know what?
Look. I'm the one that has to eat healthy. You guys do what you want. I don't care.
Look. Something that you may give a shit about, though, Charles, is that
what?
Is that recently the little guy had went in for some let's just say initial assessing. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because there may have been a feeling that that he might be on the spectrum.
Wait, who?
The little guy that runs around here.
Oh,
grabs my mic.
Okay. Yeah, say no more. Okay.
Yeah. And, it got me thinking because he has a lot of my quirks that I had when I was a kid and everything like that. And it gets me like, sort of get me thinking like, oh, okay, maybe I.
Well, I mean, there are like tests that you can have done to have him tested to see if he is actually on the spectrum.
They did some initial assessing. They didn't feel like, like there was anything to it right away, but I still feel like because there were some, I don't know if people just being knee jerk. I mean, and I hate to say it like that because this is not like something that's just like, that's like a terminal disease or something like that, to be clear. So when I say knee jerk, it's just like people see things and they want to think like, oh, it must be this. And I get it.
I was diagnosed when I was 5. I've had it since I was 5. Well, I mean, I've had it before then, but I mean, I was formally
anal warts.
I shut up, Jim. But I mean, I was formally diagnosed with autism when I was 5. So
yeah, he's about to be 4. Like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I know. Like when I looked at certain things with him, and I could almost just like recount being a kid, being around his age, and being the exact same way about stuff, and
Yeah.
being very particular and peculiar about stuff. As my mom would put it, that's a word that she actually used for me. Particular, other people use peculiar at times, and you know what I'm saying. So, you know, I was thinking like, wow, if they're thinking that about him, like I wonder if they were, I wonder maybe they couldn't quite suss that out at that time. Maybe they were wondering about me a little bit, you know. But then in my
Well, I mean,
time of being about 5, 6 years old, they couldn't possibly, you know, it wasn't as prevalent as a thing, you know. Just saying.
Well, because I mean, it's more of a well, fairly recent-ish thing where they've started really picking up on it, right? Like when I say recent-ish, I mean, you know, I guess the last 20 something years.
Yeah, fair. That's well, you know what? Would you say that's fair, Charles?
yes. Because like 50 years ago, autism was still around, but they weren't willing to deal with it like they are now. They weren't willing to like accept it like they are now.
I mean, so
So
like I said, because I always wondered, like, man, I mean, I could sort of understand, you know what I'm saying? I sort of been able, like, I was never, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of hard to vocalize now with that coming out now. It just wasn't, I was just starting thinking, like, I was telling my family, like, you know, I'm like, I know a guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I do shows with a guy, awesome guy, you know. So if that, you know what I'm saying, if that's, you know, what it is, you know, it's not something that I'm, you know what I'm saying, that I'm going to be, you know, say I feel like I'm going to be distressed about, you know,
Yeah,
or anything like that. Cause, you
yeah.
know,
Well, I mean, I've told you about this woman before, but her name is, well, I'm not going to say what her name was. I mean, she's still alive, but her name is Temple Grandin. Did I ever tell you about her?
yeah, you have.
Yeah.
okay.
She has autism, and they did a movie about her
Hmm.
where back during like the 50s, I think is what it was, when she was young, uh, she struggled with autism, and back then they didn't have the programs that helped people with autism, so she had to figure all this shit out on herself, on her own, and like she like came up with her own routines. She had to come up with these contraptions to like help herself, and she like went to a seminar for like to help parents that had autistic children, and they had these so-called experts, these autism experts that were giving like this stupid levels of incompetent advice to help these parents, and these experts didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. And Temple was like explaining her own experiences, and she said that she had autism, and all the parents like turned their heads and were giving her all the attention, and they said go up on stage and talk, and she pretty much told her whole experiences of what she did to help her cope with her own autism, and it was amazing. And she uses her own experiences to help people, and um I think what she does for a living is she owns like a farm which handles some kind of livestock. I don't know what. It's either cows or horses or something. I don't know. But
I'll roll the
she works on a farm.
I'll roll the dice on the alpaca.
I don't think it's alpaca, but
I'll,
it's
I'll
either cows or horses.
I'll still roll the dice on that.
I
I just
doubt it's alpaca.
I just like them. I'm rooting. I'm rooting for alpaca to
Look,
emerge.
alpaca are awesome. I do. Alpaca are awesome. Unless you piss them off, and then they'll fuck you up. But I mean, I don't think it's alpaca. Besides,
Okay.
you can't milk an alpaca.
I have nipples. Could you milk me?
I don't ever want to hear those words come out of your mouth again.
Hey, well, damn. It worked for Robert De Niro. It.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Meet the Parents.
Really?
Yep.
I've seen Meet the Parents. I don't remember that.
Where he talked to, where he talked about where Greg talked about his cat milking days in Motown.
Okay, I vaguely remember that. I haven't seen Meet the Parents in like almost 20 years.
Yep. But he was regaling them at the dinner table about his cat milking days in Motown.
Huh. I'm gonna have to
There was
see
a
Meet the
third
Parents.
one of those, right?
Yeah.
I think there was, because there was
There was-
Meet the Parents, there was Meet the Fockers, and then there was the third one. I don't remember what the third one was called.
Little Fockers.
Little Fockers, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Never saw that one.
Yeah, I never saw it either. But I've
I-
seen the first two, absolutely.
I barely saw Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers, the only thing I really remember from it was the beginning of the movie where we meet the Focker parents, and Dustin Hoffman is like doing some kind of like bullshit Tai Chi karate type fighting in his front lawn, and it looks stupid as hell. And then I remember Barbara Streisand is the mother, and that's really all I remember.
Crazy tanned out.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. That's all I remember.
That's pretty much the extent of my memory too. I think at
Yeah.
some point Dustin Hoffman said, "If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down."
That's where that came from?
I don't know if that's
Whoa.
where it came from, but it's probably not where it came from at all. But
I've heard so many people say that quote, but I can never remember where it came from.
I would probably say it overall came from RV Life.
RV.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Or
If
either
it's yellow or if it's brown, it doesn't matter. Flush all of it.
That's it. If you let it mellow, that fucking thing's gonna stink real quick.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, either RV Life or like conservationists, environmentalists, preserving water or preserving, because of course flushing the toilet basically expends water. So we can either talk about RV Life or we're talking about like the environmentalists, conservationists types, that type of thing.
Like if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, use it to grow food.
Yeah, kind of like what Matt Damon did in The Martian, where he like really stuck his fingers in that stuff and like grew potatoes on Mars.
With his own
I know
shit.
that's a random thought, but just like, dude, The Martian was a fucking awesome movie.
From everyone, best comedy somehow for some reason.
I mean, I like the part where he's riding his rover and he's like listening to music that he absolutely hates and he starts dancing to it. I mean, I thought that was funny.
So there's at least something funny.
It was the only music he had. I mean, he could like start like banging sticks up against the Martian rock. I mean, that first music ever heard on Mars.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
no one's ever heard this before. I can do anything and they won't even know. The intro to In the Air Tonight, and Marshall'd be like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just made this up." Doo doo.
I can feel it calling in the air tonight.
Oh
oh man. Fucking allergies.
allergy season.
Yes, that is exactly what's going on in my area. It's just so much pollen. Hit me like a goddamn freight train. All right.
It's like a fucking nightmare to deal with.
Yes, it
Never
is.
had it myself, but I know people who do, and it's just like, God damn, that sucks.
For like the past week, I've been hit with runny nose. Let's see, congestion, aches in the joints, and yeah, that's about it.
And just, that coughing like you're a smoker, even though you're not. It's just like, God damn it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been chugging down cough medicine like it's no tomorrow.
It kind of helps.
A little bit, yeah.
Because it's
But
stuff you can take for seasonal allergies, right? Which,
well, I mean,
again, I don't think completely helps, but
there was this like allergy tablet that I would take. Did absolutely nothing.
it's just like, this is just a waste of money and time.
Yeah, pretty much. Did
Yeah.
not stop the coughing or the congestion or nothing. I went
It's like,
through so many paper towels blowing my nose and sneezing. Oh man. I
How
went
the
through
fuck
so
have we not
many.
figured this out by now?
Yeah.
Like, it's probably been a thing since the beginning of time, and we're still just like, I don't know, take this, it
Huma-
might work.
Humanity has been on this planet for 250,000 years and we still have not solved the problem of the common cold.
It's like pollen. Nah, I don't know. Mystery.
Yeah, it's such a mystery. Oh man. Yeah, but it's fine. It's not gonna kill me.
Yeah, that's it. It's just annoying as shit.
Yes, it is.
Which, definitely take over something terrible.
Oh yeah.
But as far as I
Well,
know, no one's ever died from
I
hay
will
fever.
say this: the worst of it is over.
So, like, you coming out of that season, or it's just like,
No. Like the worst of what I was feeling is done. Like what I
oh,
was
okay,
experiencing, like it's nowhere near as what I'm experiencing now is nowhere near as bad as it was.
good.
Yeah. Like I can kind of breathe through my nose now, and the coughing is pretty much all I have to deal with now. But sneezing, nope, don't have to deal with that. My runny nose is completely gone. So I'm good for the most
I would
part.
say I would take sneezing over a runny nose. There's something about a runny nose, and it's so fucking irritating.
Okay. Try sneezing and a runny nose. No,
Yeah.
that's messy.
So it's just stuff going everywhere.
Oh yeah. That's why I had a roll of paper towels right next to my desk.
Because my hand was constantly just gooey.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You.
It was not pretty. My cat had to stay away from me.
Like, hey, Fennel, how you doing? He's like, nope. You stay back there.
Yeah.
It's like, God, don't you want to come fuck with my monitor, my keyboard? No, not right now. Not right now.
Oh yeah, Fennel he found a new place to hang out. My new bed.
Now he's taken that territory.
Yeah, he just hangs out on there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he hangs out on my bed. He needs the mattress. Yeah, he gets up on there and he just like passes out. It just lays.
It's like, hey, you don't want to use this, right? I can just have this. No, I kind of want to. Wouldn't
Oh,
mind laying it.
he
Like, no, you don't
controls
need this.
the entire thing. He
It's
controls all of it.
just a
This
giant cat
whole
bed.
this whole territory is his. I own none of it. It belongs to him.
Do you have to pay for the privilege?
Do I have to pay for the privilege? Yeah, I pay him in pets and belly scratches.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's still still degrading, but it's not so bad. You can both enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never had a cat. They're such interesting creatures.
Oh, cats are great if they're not assholes.
Yeah, I was going to say they can be oddly malicious creatures.
Yes, they can.
I know many people who've had cats. It's like, yeah, he just scratches the fuck out of me for no reason. Just comes up, it's like, hey, how's it going? And scratches my arm, nice and deep. Like, oh, that's good. It's not, it's got to be some kind of dominance thing or something, right?
Yeah. All right. So we let's see what else do we got to say about Invincible season 3? Oh, I got something.
Can't
What
remember
did you think?
where we got to.
What did you think about Rudy curing Monster Girl? What'd you think of that?
Rudy. Yeah, I still find that relationship weird. Just the dynamic is odd. But yeah, like I don't somehow I see it going wrong at some point though.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that.
It's
I
like, yeah,
think
it seems like it's all sound, but I just get the feeling eventually something's gonna go wrong with that.
yeah, I think the relationship is going to end, and it's going to end quite tragically.
Because he's like, do we know how old he is?
Well, technically, I think both characters are about the same age.
Okay.
Technically.
Because he was like this weird, deformed, seemingly old creature.
I think they're both roughly about the same age. It's
Okay.
just
different afflictions.
just different afflictions. I think Rudy is supposed to be somewhere in his 30s. He's supposed to be somewhere in his 30s, and Monster Girl is supposed to be somewhere in her 30s as well.
Yeah.
But due to the curse that she had because of her powers, every time she transforms into the monster and then she reverts back to her human form, it slowly ages her in reverse.
Because it's like, I don't think it's a small amount either. I think it's like, I can't remember if it was weeks. Months
No,
seems too
it's
much.
it's not weeks. They
Was
this season when he was able to use that belt to like halt the de-aging process of her curse, they determined that it was every time she reverts back to her human form, it reverses her age by 24 hours.
Okay. I missed that.
Yeah.
Either missed it, I probably didn't miss it. I'm just forgetting it.
Yeah,
I was
it
going to say,
reverses her.
as I said it, I was like, even weeks seems like surely she'd just be, a fetus by now.
Yeah, but no, it reverses her age by exactly 24 hours.
Whereas now, with the device, it was it? It makes a clone or makes a. It wasn't a clone. How did he describe it? Like, it makes a record of her cell structure or whatever right before she transforms, and I think it was like it clones it or something, and then
yeah, but the main
puts it
thing
back.
that I'm concerned with that new belt that she received that like stops the de-aging process is that does that mean that she's going to stay at that age going forward, or is she going to go back to aging normally?
That's a good question because
yeah.
I think he's pretty much just made himself a straight up clone, right? Like he should theoretically age normally.
He should, yes.
So I'm fairly sure that I don't think they addressed that at all.
Yeah. But see the thing is, is that is no telling how often she may have to change into the monster. You know, there could be a time where she may not do it for quite some time, you know, for whatever
Or
reason.
or it could be several times a day for, months on end, depending on what when it's called for, what the threat is.
Because see, the main thing is trying to stop what's happening. That's abnormal. So this thing sort of
I gotta
basically,
step away real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
all
Yeah.
right. So that thing sort of puts a hold to that, allowing the normal things to happen. You know, so unless there's other factors involved, but otherwise, if the main thing was every
I,
time she turned into the monster, she would age. You know, so she would regress in age.
I
Then
guess, yeah.
basically,
So it's like as long as she's not in that form for more than, well, basically,
I
yeah.
don't.
As long as she's not like, hanging out in monster form for like a few days or something, it should pretty much progress more or less normally, save half an hour, an hour.
No, well, let's just put it this way: in the normal space, abnormally, no one will be able to change their form into a gigantic green monster. So, with that respect, it's like when that happens, it's going to make sure that it doesn't do harm to her, you know, to her natural progression. And then when she's not the monster, then it's just her being, but except it's her being that, except basically she won't be perpetually a 7-year old, you know, or whatever, or a 9-year old, you know what I'm saying, the whole time. You know, the basically, I mean, she won't be able to age fast, but at least allow her to be able to sort of catch up in a way.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, as long as, yeah, like, as a guess, let's say each time she turns into the monster, it's only for half hour or something like that. So you lose a half an hour every now and then, but the rest of the day just aging ahead normally.
So there's a time limit on the thing.
Because the way he constructed the belt, if I'm getting it right, was it makes like a sort of a copy of the way she was right before she transformed. So when she transforms back, it just reverts back to that point instead of taking off 24 hours.
Okay. Okay. Then I would.
I think I'm getting that right. I frequently am wrong, so who knows?
Like I said, I think at the very least, because like I would say like this. I guess I would say like this. Like, say she was the monster for like a year or two straight.
Like this, right? Yeah.
Then she would be progressing by 2 years. And then when she changed back to her form, it would take her all the way back to 2 years before that.
That's how I understand it. Yeah.
So I would probably say in more of that extended period, it would basically mess up the progress. Absolutely would mess up the progress, because then it would mess up her natural progression of aging if she put an extremely prolonged situation. But
Yeah.
a month or two, even a month or two wouldn't hurt that process.
I mean, yeah, in the long run, it's not so bad.
Yeah, a month or two wouldn't hurt that process. But we're talking about a year or two, even 5 years, where she had to be the monster for some reason and things like that, where she's actually getting older, becoming a teenager. But then when she turns back into, you know what I'm saying, her normal self, she goes all the way back to like being a 9-year-old girl. You know, so it's like,
Yeah, because it's sort of like you got because the monster's body doesn't change, but you got that mental progression.
And then, but
Which,
then you
I
got
mean, it's that's already the issue. You got this 30-something living in the body of a between 9 and probably at the latest like 14-year-old
the
girl.
copy. but the copy, whether you know what I'm saying, whether through DNA or whatever, is the copy. So even if, like I say, even if in an extreme scenario where she's the monster for a good few years and she's becoming a teenager, and it's like the copy is of her as a 9-year-old per se, because I'm forgetting what her age actually is or perceived in the, you know what I'm saying, on the show now. But
We think it's 30 something, like
I mean,
somewhere
what
in
I'm
the.
saying is the way she looks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's like she's looking like she's 9 or 10 or whatever. But what I'm saying is when they make that copy from the belt when she turns, and like for some extreme reason that she still is the monster for a few years and becomes like a teenager close to being 18. But then when she changes back to the girl, somehow is finally able to do that. The copy is going to be of that 9, 10-year-old and not of the, unless it constantly, but see, it can't do that if she's constantly the monster. So it will only go back to the copy of the 9 and 10-year-old. It's the only thing. It's the only reference that has to go on when she turns back to normal.
Yeah. So like she's got all the experience of that time, but none of the still just that same body.
So I think the solution to that would be every once in a while change back to your normal self, and get that and get that copy of that progression. So when you change back to the monster, you'll always be on a more updated version, since when you change back to your normal self.
But like make a quick save.
Yeah,
and jump back
I would
in.
definitely say, yeah, I would definitely say that. That's probably would be the main solution to basically staving off any weird complications of that, I would say.
Yeah, we were saying before, like we sort of both get the impression that something's going to go wrong with that belt at some point.
I don't know.
I just get this feeling that it's just like, I guess almost a too good to be true kind of thing, I guess.
I mean, look, all I'm going to say is this: if I have to go into my sci-fi bag and say, at the very least, he's collecting her DNA, which means
clones.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, we've lost one, but let me just fire up the machine I got in the back, and
it's not even a lost one. It's like his own personal one.
So he's going to start selling them.
No. Just has his own personal one.
I feel like ew is the response to what you.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be weird here. I'm just saying that clones are clones.
It's impossible not to be weird. The whole thing is weird. Her situation, their situation, the relationship, it's all just.
Now that he's going to be called Rex now.
Yeah, officially he is the only Rex. Which, goddamn, that sucked. Rexplosion went out with a literal bang, but I was like, God damn it.
Oh, come on, man.
Not only because I like the guy who does his voice, but
who would you expect to go out?
Yeah, it's true. Like, you have to kill somebody at some point. Like, you can't just you can't do a show like this without some losses.
You can't go killing off the few black characters up there. Sorry, I'm sorry. You can't go killing off the few ones that you have up there. So,
technically, he's some kind of brown because the guy who does his voice is Greek. So,
yeah, but
I don't know what ethnicity is meant to be exactly.
Even though Nightwing took one of the versions of of Mark into a sunken place, and they presumed him dead. I guess
he just kind of disappeared. I guess, surely that'll come back. I can't imagine that's the last we've seen of that.
I don't know. Because do we ever really get explained? He kind of explained it to Mark what that whole thing was. I'm kind of forgetting it, but what the hell is that place really?
It's like sort of like a negative zone. I don't know.
It's truly the sunken place. Okay. But then he still have his powers in there when he took Mark in there.
I think so. Yeah,
So
I'm fairly sure
where
it
did
was
the
fine.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Where it was fine for him. I'm fairly sure Mark was pretty much neutered when he was in there, right? Like he couldn't really do much.
Really? That's what I was asking. Like,
I think
so he
it's
didn't have
been
his
so
powers in
long.
there. So he didn't have his powers in
I
there.
I don't think so. Or maybe what was his name? Not Nightwing. That's what was it?
I thought it was Nightwing, right? Wasn't it
No,
Nightwing?
Nightwing is what's his name? One of the Robins from Batman.
Darkwing? I mean, it's something like that.
Darkwing. I think it was. I think Darkwing. That
Please,
does sound right.
please don't, because that's Darkwing Duck. Please don't. That
Oh
can't be.
shit! Yeah, but it might have been.
That can't be
Oh,
right.
well, let's have a look.
That can't be right. Oh God, please, man. You cannot tell me.
Oh, I think it was Darkwing. Yeah, it was Darkwing.
Oh God. Where'd you see it?
Under Google's. Let's put Darkwing Invincible, and first thing that came up.
Oh my God, Michael Worf is Battle Beast?
Really?
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic character. I love that character. Just always just so enthusiastic for not the hunt, for the fight.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize that. They didn't know how can no one not
Conquest.
say anything? Hold up, you're able to see Conquest?
Wait, what?
What? You able to see who did the voice of Con? God damn.
Yeah, it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Are you guys talking about Conquest?
Yeah.
Yeah, Conquest was interesting.
He's he's
So,
an eccentric guy.
So were you here to find out what we just found out? What I just found out?
Would you find out?
That Worf is Battle Beast.
Oh, you're just finding that out now?
I'm just finding that out now.
I've
me
known
too.
that since Battle Beast was first introduced in season 1. I knew that since then.
I'd somehow never taken notice of that, and I usually take notice of voices in this show.
Yeah, I knew that
There's
Michael
so many
Dorn
interesting
voiced
people.
Battle Beast since he first showed up.
Okay, let me see. Why am I not seeing him? Why am I
And
not seeing him?
easily one of my favorite. Would you call him? I guess he's a villain, but he's not. I don't know. If calling him a villain doesn't seem right.
He's more of I want to call him more of an anti-villain.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, he's a villain, but
He's not an anti-hero, he's an anti-villain.
yeah, because he's like, it's not really about being a villain for him. It's just about the fight. He's just a guy who's really enthusiastic about combat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who it's against. Like he's just looking for a challenge.
Although I will say that I am not happy that they brought back Machine Head. I do not like that they brought him back.
With his goddamn auto tune.
Yeah. Oh my God. I hated the fact that they had him in season 1, and he was fucking auto tuned. And it's like, are you kidding me? Look, I don't like auto tune. I don't, because auto tune is basically a crutch of the talentless, and it's just.
Yeah, I remember for the South Park episode with Kanye. You remember that episode?
Yeah,
We got enraged about
fish sticks.
Yeah. Do you like fish sticks? Were you a gay fish? And he just completely enraged, could not figure it out, and then eventually decided he wasn't. a gay fish. But I remember Trey Parker saying about when he had to do that song, he had to learn how to sing poorly for the auto-tune to actually work. Because if you sing correctly, it doesn't sound right. Because it's meant to fix those issues.
Yep.
But do we already know who Titan is?
Titan?
Stone Boy.
Oh, Stone. Oh, yeah, I remember
okay.
him. He was the guy from season 1 who tried to overthrow Machine Head.
Well, yeah, well,
Black
did
Kingpin,
and
kind of.
did, and then had the issue with the Dragon Overlord. Apparently, forgot about that. Now that was pretty interesting.
That was cool. This undying dragon that's stored in the body of a frail old man.
But that was Mahershala Ali that played Titan there.
Yeah.
The possible next Blade.
Yeah. I'm skeptical if we'll ever get a next Blade at this point.
I'll believe it when I see it because we have waited over 5 years for that Blade movie to come out, and it still hasn't happened.
But you know what? I just sometimes I feel like they will do shit until certain things until it like really shits the bed, like with Blade Trinity, and then that becomes the reason why
Blade Trinity was garbage.
I know, but see, they waited for that, and then it's like, oh, that's the reason why we're doing no more Blades. You know, it's
because like I found it enjoyable enough as a movie. You know, like it's is what it is, but when you compare it to the first two, it's just like, what happened?
You just can't use Ryan Reynolds, you know what I'm saying? Ryan Reynolds talking, you know what I'm saying, to make everything work. I'm sorry, you just can't.
I remember
even if you
that movie, that's like, God damn, Van Wilder is fucking ripped.
And then you can even throw my man in there. You can even throw my man in there. You know what I'm saying? And it's still not gonna work. Still can't work. Oh my God, why am I fucking forgetting his name? I'm such an ass right now.
Who else was in that movie? Blade, Ryan Reynolds. Was Jennifer Garner in that? No,
Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel, yes. I always get them confused for some reason.
My man from The Walking Dead. Why am I forgetting his name? Man who just did The Walking Dead, you know what I'm saying? Walking Dead continuance in France.
Oh,
Dominic
Norman Reedus.
Purcell? Dominic Purcell?
Norman Reedus.
Who was he in Blade Trinity?
Norman Reedus. Oh, okay. Why did I say Dominic Purcell, man?
He was a traitor. You made it seem like he was. Unless I'm placing him in the wrong movie, he was acting like he was working with Whistler in Blade, but was really a traitor.
That does sound kind of familiar. It's been so long since I've seen that movie, and unlike the first two, it's really it doesn't stick in the brain.
Like he usually is when he plays a supporting role. He's kind of low key, so like you have to know he's in there to, you know what I'm saying, to like, you know. But he was definitely a big part because, like I say, he definitely helped those guys infiltrate. You know what I'm saying? His whole setup that he thought that they thought was going to help them. He had all that little tech that he thought was going to help them. But
Reedus wasn't in Blade Trinity. He was in Blade 2.
That's I did say that. I did say that. I thought it might have been 2. Like I said, well, okay. All right.
Shit.
So he
tells
wasn't.
Me it's time for a rewatch of those first 2 movies.
So he wasn't in the garbage one. I'm glad for that. I always kind of thought that he was in the garbage one. So I'm really kind of glad for that.
Blade 2 is easily the best Blade movie.
Stroke. What happened?
Okay.
Hey, I don't care what you say. Blade 1 was good, but Blade 2 was better.
Motherfucker.
Okay, the fight scenes between those two at the end, between Frost and Blade at the end, it gave too cartoonish. You know what I'm saying? I have to be honest, but I will admit that when they went back, yeah, you know,
That opening scene of the first Blade, though, is so goddamn good. In the club with the blood sprinklers.
oh yeah, for sure. But okay, so are we feeling any more to say? You know what? I gotta say more. One, at least a little bit more. Okay, this the Mephistopheles element toward the end there. Now that was a big one. I had to wait all the way to like the last episodes to get that.
Wait, the what?
The Damien Darkblood scene at the end of Invincible.
Oh, yes.
Hold on, wait a second. Okay, now that name, wasn't he like a fucking detective sort of?
Yeah, it was like if Hellboy was a detective, kind of.
So, but he's almost talking like he was about to inhabit somebody. This is like a whole different situation we're talking about here. Are we like we're talking about the same character?
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy with the trench coat and the hat and everything like that, who's trying to act normal. He's looking like now he's about to fucking like do a Damien the Omen type situation or something.
Because it was Nolan that sent him back to hell, right? Because he was getting too close.
Okay, but he's acting like now he was almost acting like some kind of old world fucking like demon, like tell me what you would raise me for I, you know what I'm saying? It's all this shit. Like it just gave me a whole different feel.
And then Bruce
Like
Campbell as that little, I guess some kind of supreme demon fellow.
I'm just saying, like that whole thing was just. Hold on, give me a second. I have to go and try to save my MacBook before.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
As soon as I heard that voice pop up, I was just like, we need more Bruce Campbell, and he needs to be in more places, and should have been forever. It's criminal how underused that guy has been.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say, I didn't realize that was Bruce Campbell at first. I didn't know. I had to be told it was him.
That's right, yeah, because I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when we were going to do a show, then didn't.
Yeah,
we were talking
I didn't
about
know it was him.
And then, Doug Bradley as those vaguely Cenobite kind of surgeon things.
I didn't know that was him either. I didn't know it was him. But after
Yeah,
hearing after being told it was Doug Bradley, I was like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah, because that voice is it's unmistakable. It's one of the, like, probably easily one of the most unique voices I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess iconic too. Like, Hellraiser, obviously, and then he did the narration on some Cradle of Filth albums. I'm sure many other things I'm blanking on right now, but
Doug Bradley also did some voice work for Star Wars as well.
yeah, it's like the older movies, or
No.
like the Clone Wars or something.
Video game.
Ah, okay.
Have you ever heard of this online video game in Star Wars called Star Wars: The Old Republic?
Heard of it, yeah.
There was a character in Star Wars: The Old Republic called what was his name? It wasn't Vitiate. Tenebrae. That's right, Tenebrae. Doug Bradley did the voice work for a Sith Lord that was possessed by an ancient Sith that was named Tenebrae, and the Sith Lord that was possessed by Tenebrae was the Sith Emperor, and Doug Bradley voiced the Sith Emperor.
That's extremely fitting.
Yeah.
You're sort of thinking like, who would I get to voice a character like this? Like,
Yeah.
that's got to be one of the first things that comes to mind.
Yep. Yeah, Doug Bradley voiced the Sith Emperor.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. And depending on what character you play as in the game, you get to fight the Sith Emperor.
Okay, so certain like different characters have different paths throughout
Yes.
the. Okay.
I think if you play as the Jedi Knight class, you have the ability to fight the Sith Emperor.
Was it that one they did like they put out like a remaster of recently-ish?
No.
No, it wasn't that. What was it? Was it Knights of the Old Republic they put out a remaster of?
They haven't released it yet.
They haven't?
No. There was supposed to be a remake of
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic, but the remake is not slated to be released for at least 2 years.
Damn it, what was it? Because there was a remake of one of those, like, sort of very much beloved sort of, it's like PS2 era, like early mid 2000s kind of Star Wars games that, from memory, I don't think the launch went so well. Don't know what the state of it's like now, but I don't think people were happy with it. Can't remember what it was. It was something that I've never played, but I was just like, oh, maybe now I could get into it. I can't think of what the fuck it was.
I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't.
Apparently I don't either.
But like back in 2021, they announced that they were going to be doing a remake of the original Knights of the Old Republic, and that it was supposed to release exclusively on PC and the PlayStation.
Really? Not PC and Xbox.
Unfortunately, the developers of the game, which was Aspire, released test footage of what they were working on to executives to show what they were working on, and the executives were not pleased with what was shown. So they fired Aspire as the development studio working on this game, and they gave development rights to Saber Interactive. So now Saber Interactive is working on the remake, and Aspire is no longer involved. And they had to.
Saber's done other Star Wars games, right?
As far as I know, I have no idea. I don't know.
Name sounds so familiar.
Saber Interactive, their most recent game would have to be Space Marine 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that was their most recent game.
If that's the game I'm thinking of, from memory, that was really well received.
Oh, it was. Like, people fucking love that game. I know some people that have been playing it.
It came out like last year?
Yes, came out in 2024. It was hugely popular. Like, it's still popular even now. But Saber Interactive is currently working on the KOTOR remake, and they are, according to recent reports, they are still like focused on developing the game, but they are keeping any information pertaining to the development pretty close to the chest. And there is no current predictions as to when the game will be released, or when we'll be getting any clear information as to how far they are into development. So it's anyone's guess where we are going to be getting the game. That's why when I said
when we have something, when we have enough to show you, you'll see.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when I said that it would be at least 2 years before we see anything, that's just a rough estimate. It could be longer, it could be shorter. I mean, I have no idea. A lot of people have already written the game off as a loss. Like,
there's this is something, it'll just get canceled at some point. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe quietly, maybe not,
Yeah.
but we're not going to see it.
I'm still holding out hope that the game is going to release. But that could just be me being optimistic and just not willing to let it go.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see and just hope the game gets released, and who knows.
You just look at the list of stuff they've done. It's like, yeah, there's a list of, it's sort of a mix of original stuff and then either ports or remasters for a lot of things.
Yeah, another prominent game that Saber Interactive has done was that World War Z game that they did.
Yeah, I've seen that pop up a bunch, so I'm guessing there's been quite a few re-releases of that one on different platforms and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they did Ghostbusters, the video game remastered. They did a good job of that.
Yep, they did.
I didn't get. I probably got about halfway through, and I got up to a certain boss that was a pain in the dick, and I just haven't gotten back to it.
Yeah.
They did Evil Dead, the game, which I never actually got to play, and I think is unplayable now. So I think they like shut down the servers or whatever for it. Yeah, I thought I knew their name from something I'd actually played, but well, I guess that one thing, but well, whatever. You know, I've been playing through God of War Ragnarok lately. Finally
How
getting
you
to
liking
that.
it? How you
I
like
loved it. I played through the entire, like, I platinumed the main game itself. Now I'm playing the DLC expansion for it, which is, it sort of serves as a bit of an epilogue and also like a, what's the word, roguelike? Like you do like runs of a thing, and you, like, if you die it resets, but you retain certain stuff. Is that roguelike?
Something like that. Yeah.
Fairly sure I'm getting that term right, but yeah, it's been good. Definitely, yeah, a good cap to the first game, and intrigued to see what they do in the future. Just easily one of my favorite series of all time.
Yeah, I played through God of War Ragnarok. I mean, that was definitely a good game. I liked it. There were certain things about it that I didn't like.
Like what?
I didn't like the changes they made to Argaboga. I didn't like that.
Like what changes do you mean? Like the skin tone?
Yeah, I didn't like that. It just felt strange to me.
I mean, you got two black people in the entire game. It was her and the dude that used to be Freya's boar. Can't remember what his name is, but he was taking the form of a boar for a little while.
I remember
Blanking on his
him.
name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, it was a little jarring, but it's like, you know, I guess we don't know what all giants look like.
Well, the
Any
thing
giant,
is,
really.
the thing is that
But you know, the culture it's based on, it's sort of like,
the thing is that in the actual mythology, we do know Argaboga's, like, she's supposed to
we
be.
have sort of an image.
We have an image of her. We do.
Okay.
So the only reason why they made her black was because of diversity. That's the only reason why they did it. And it's just, it wasn't, and I don't want to sound, I don't like sounding like those anti-woke people. I don't like sounding like them. But at the same time, it's obvious what they were doing there. It is. They only did it because they wanted to implement diversity in something that is predominantly a white culture. So right there,
I will say though, unlike what many lesser games would have done. They didn't make it a point. If you know what I mean, like they didn't. It wasn't just like, oh, like it didn't have her saying, oh, because you're so white. Like there wasn't like that. They didn't make it a racial thing, other than the appearance.
It felt like it felt like that when you make like it's like the same thing where when you put a white character in a storyline that is predominantly black, it's like, oh, you're whitewashing. But when you put a black character in a storyline that's predominantly white, it's like, oh, it's diverse. And it's like it's the same damn thing, only it's the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
It's like it's like you're basically taking away the white culture here, and it kind of irked me. It did. It irked me, and I didn't like it.
When did I walk?
I'm not okay with it when you do whitewashing in a storyline that is predominantly black or any other ethnic group. But I also don't like it when they do that same shit in a storyline that is predominantly white. I don't
It's
like
sort of like
it. It's
just
not good
yeah,
no
like,
matter
just
where you do
stick
it.
to the thing. Yeah, stick
Yeah.
to I get
Stick
that.
to
Like
the fucking script.
exactly, but
Yeah.
like I can't say it bothered me. I definitely noticed because again, like you got a pretty much a cast of completely white, or I mean, Kratos is Greek, so he probably was a little brown initially, but he's covered in the ashes of his family, so he's very white. But yeah, it just like then you got two black characters just sort of randomly interspersed in there.
Okay, when did we come into a clan rally? Ooh.
Well,
Hey,
we're talking about
you
God
want-
of War.
I'll get. Should I get my hood? Charles, do you want to come on, Carol? We could do our hoods together. Come on, it's fun.
Mm-mm.
Mine's out in the barn.
Mine's got sauce stains on it. I was eating wings.
Yeah. I swear to God, where is this Walton Goggins picture from? Because he looks like
It's Baby Billy from the Righteous Gemstones.
Because he looks like he's doing. Because he looks like he's doing the Harry Carey story.
No, he's meant to be like I think he's meant to be in his let's say 60s, and he's a periphery member of this preacher family.
You know the baseball commentator. Hello, everybody, for the Chicago Cubs. I'm Harry Carey. It just got, it kind of looks like Harry Carey right now.
Oh, speaking of Walton Goggins, I saw a clip from a movie called Cowboys and Aliens. Remember that movie?
I know of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Walton Goggins is in that movie.
No doubt playing an alien.
No, he's not playing an alien. He's playing a bandit, a cowboy bandit.
Of course, I was just being facetious.
Yeah. I had no idea that Walton Goggins was in that movie, and I've seen the movie, and I completely forgot that he was in it.
Need country accent, will travel.
Man, what is it about Walton Goggins playing roles like this? It's like
I love that he's he's always been working and stuff, but I love that he's sort of getting somewhat getting his due these days. Like he's getting the respect he's deserved for a long time.
yeah, he is.
I really think he should have stayed more in the weird calm pocket, in the weird calm Cecil pocket, and not give so much of his actual voice in his third. I think I heard a little bit more of his actual voice in his third season. And just
yes, but you've also you've had a little more reason for Cecil to become a little bit more
animated,
not emotional, but yeah, like he's had a cause to flare up a bit instead of being his regular, most robotic self.
There's somebody else who deserves more recognition, but he doesn't get enough recognition. and I've been saying this for years, ever since I saw him in Watchmen. Jackie Earl Haley.
Well, he should. Well, maybe he shouldn't have shit the bed with, along with them on the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Then
that wasn't his fault.
He paid. He signed on. That's where he shares blame.
I feel like we brought this up before, and I've probably asked this question before. But was he good in it?
All right.
He was willing to be. He was willing to be a pedo for this role. He was willing. I mean, yes. I mean, is he giving you the harsh, gravelly voice and just the, you know what I'm saying, steely intensity? But
so wait, like when you describe, like, I'm just kind of picturing just Rorschach in Freddy Krueger makeup.
A little bit more calm, tense, yeah. Less humor, less. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, really, Rorschach could have been more Freddy if it was being Freddy.
At least Rorschach had some one-liners.
I did not like that change that they did to Freddy Krueger in that movie. I did not like that they did that to him in that movie. Where I won't say the word, but
PDF, you mean?
Yeah, PDF file. I didn't
So I massacred my boy.
Yeah, I didn't like how they turned him into a PDF file. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
It's like, really, the first thing wasn't enough. The murder wasn't enough for you.
Yeah, just killing kids was straight. It was straight. It was terrible. It was in a terrible pocket it needed to be in. Okay, it was straight, for real.
Yeah,
Seriously.
but like what they did in the original Nightmare on Elm Street movies. That was fine. That's all they had to do. That's all they had to replicate in the remake. But they had to take it up a notch, and they went too far as I'm concerned.
They could have took it up a notch and took it past Jeepers Creepers and really took it down to the boiler room. You know what I'm saying? If they really wanted to take it up a notch.
They could have done that, but no. They had to be a bunch of creepy ass hats.
Yeah. And then, but then
projection on screen, maybe.
But it was less crazed, enjoyed. I'm enjoying the Psycho. It was more just intense, steely, like gravelly, like he was trying to be intense, but then it was like the sexual tension thing. Like there was some of it with him and Nancy. It just wasn't with everybody, but it was some. I mean, there was some implications there, like with Tina. You know what I'm saying? There was some implications there with Tina. There's something. You don't think so with the bedroom scene?
No, that wasn't no.
Oh, okay. I'm just. Yeah, there's some implications there, and then there's some implications with Nancy. But even in the bathtub scene, you know what I'm saying? There's implications, but there's we're clearly kind of going to the sexual tension in the remake for sure. And we're still talking about high school kids, by the way.
So it's just, yeah, it's just a straight up creep movie.
Yeah.
It's like, even like as goofy as fuck as those original movies got, it all felt in line.
I mean, like even Freddie being in the high school, playing a teacher, you know what I'm saying, messing with the asthmatic girl, talking about that want to suck face. I mean, yeah, that even right now, if people were to look back on that now, it would still be kind of cringy. But it was made to fuck with her breathing more than be sexual. You know what I'm saying?
It's a pun. It's not like,
yeah, you know. So, but some people still might argue the cringe on that. You know, they still might give the
even as you said that, I was like, yeah, it does sound kind of cringy, but it's like, it was the 80s or maybe early 90s. Wait, which one was that?
That was Dream. I think either that was Dream. I think that might have been Dream Master. I think.
So that would have been yeah, I think that was definitely in the 90s by that point.
But see, the thing is, and here's the worst part of that. Here's the worst part of that. Before they started sucking face, do you know what she said?
No.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I don't know if you said no, I don't know what she said, or if that was your guess. But either way, exactly.
No, wait, did she actually say no?
Yes, she said no.
Oh. Yeah.
Even more of an argument for the cringe. You know?
Yeah.
Even more of an argument for the ooh.
No, it's been a while since I've watched through that series, but I'd say the last time was probably over 10 years ago. But yeah, even the ones that are goofy as fuck, I find still hold up. There's just something about it, and I guess you probably got to credit most of it to Robert Englund, but even just the movies themselves, they're not like, it's not garbage with a great performance, I wouldn't say.
Okay, but I would still say that, like I said, for me, Robin Williams was like the main reason, because when you see Death to Smoochie, it's a great movie. When I finally brought myself to see Death to Smoochie, it was a great movie. But I didn't want to see it because Robin Williams, but I heard Robin Williams was going to be a bad guy in that. And the one thing I know about Robin Williams is that when he puts himself into a role, he makes you believe it. It makes you believe him. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm really not going to like him because he's going to make you believe in that. So you're not going to like him. And it's like, I don't want to not like Robin Williams, so I'm not going to see the movie. That's kind
I
of how
still haven't seen that or 1 Hour Photo.
Oh God, yeah. Okay.
I want to, just because.
No, you don't.
The guy.
No, you don't.
I do. I'm just scared. But I remember
I have seen both 1 Hour Photo and Death to Smoochie. Skip 1 Hour Photo, watch Death to Smoochie.
Okay.
Death to Smoochie is hilarious.
Of course.
1 Hour Photo is horrible.
That's just him as just a straight up creep, right?
Yeah, he's a fucking creep in that movie.
But he's talented.
He was.
He is talented, and he played the role very, very well.
Very well.
He played it incredibly well.
Very well.
It was very believable, which is why I couldn't finish the movie. I couldn't. I had to turn it off at some point, and I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I love Robin Williams too much. I can't let this ruin my perception of the man.
That's what I mean. I'm scared. He was on an episode of, I want to say it was SVU. Yeah, I don't think it was Criminal Intent. I think it was SVU because it was some kind of doing some kind of sex crimes, some kind of awful sex crimes. I can't remember what it was, but I was just like, okay, so this is what super dark Robin Williams is like, and that probably wasn't even as dark as 1 Hour Photo just being
I don't doubt it.
But he was great in that episode.
1 Hour Photo was super dark.
That's all I've ever heard. It's just like, yeah, he's just the creepiest.
But he's great. He's great. He's great. That's all you can say. He was great, though.
Oh man.
He was absolutely.
I will never
stellar.
go back to that movie. I won't. I do what I can to wash that monstrosity from my memory. I need to remember Robin Williams for all the happy memories that man has given me.
Well, see, no, that's more like toys for me.
Toys?
I try to scrub.
Is that the movie with LL Cool J?
Yeah, I try to scrub toys from my memory.
Hey, I like that movie. I thought that movie was fun.
I mean,
but then again, when I saw Toys,
but you can have your opinion, but your opinion is wrong.
Hey, when I saw Toys, I was a kid at the time. I didn't know any better.
it was a lot of oddball stuff. They wanted
maybe if
they
I saw
loaded.
Toys recently, I'd be like, "Holy shit, this movie sucks."
They really wanted Robin Williams to carry that whole entire movie. You know what I'm saying? That whole thing. And that was a lot to carry. Even for Robin Williams. That whole mess of a movie was a lot for Robin Williams to even carry. I have to say.
Was that the one with Richard Pryor as well?
No. That is The Toy.
Oh, okay. See, I remember you telling me about that a while ago.
Yeah, that's The Toy. Toys, plural.
Okay.
That's yeah. But yeah, The Toy is essentially Richard. Long story short, Richard Pryor is a journalist, at least a photographer. See, that's kind of in my head, but for possibly a photographer, but to me, journalist is all those things. But anyway, I think possibly a photographer, at least a journalist. He's trying to find work or whatever, and he happens to be in a mall or toy store when this super rich kid happens to come in and sees how animated and funny he's being while he's in the store, I guess doing some shopping or whatever. But Richard Pryor, so he's trying out toys possibly, and being his usual goofy self and trying out the toys. So he found him entertaining and thought that he felt like he wanted to buy him. And it was more of a confusing situation because it's a kid. Yeah, it's a white kid, but it's still a kid. Like, I don't know if he was thinking, and you saw when maybe he's not thinking along the lines of like buying him, like he's, what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he's not like, mommy, I want to buy a black. She's like, no, son.
But then you meet his father, U.S. You know what I'm saying? With a big bosomed girlfriend, so with a southern accent so deep that she constantly calls him U.S.
And he's like, oh, okay, I see where this is going.
So, but then you meet U.S. and he's a fucking racist. He's rich and he's a racist.
He's like, yep, there it is.
So he persuades him with a lot of money to be bought by his son. So the son was on a different wavelength with it because he feels like he can get whatever he wants because his father has money, his father's this, and whatever he wants he gets. You know what I'm saying? So that's his mindset.
He was looking for sort of like he's buying a clown or something.
But as we find out later on, that really he was trying to buy a friend. A real human friend, really.
That's both adorable and extremely sad.
Yeah, very much. And I give Richard Pryor that much because he'll do a lot of comedy, and it's a lot of hilarity in some of the stuff that he does. But he does try to. But he always, in my opinion, even in the movie Bustin' Loose from way back in the day when I was a kid, he still tried to bring a message to the situation. A couple of messages. I mean, that one had a couple of messages going on, honestly, if you ask me. But yeah, he definitely tried to send a message about racism and about, what I'm saying, and about class and about, and the things of that nature, just really trying to confront a couple of different things, politics and corruption even, and everything like that. Being better parents to your kids, what we're willing to do for our kids. Like, it was almost that situation because he did that to basically get the money that he was willing to pay him for his family. They give a better life for his family. It was sort of like this crossing thing of, what I'm saying, he was willing to compromise himself to, to basically get this money to give a better life to his family. And here's his father who's trying to do what he feels like is the right thing for his son, but he's not really even being a father to him. I'm saying, things like that. So, it's just, it's a lot of things there. So, it's a lot of value in the movies that he tries to put out. It's not just, but Hollywood, a lot of times critics and other people, they try to boil stuff down to just being just this thing. It's just Richard Pryor being goofy, and it's cringe to look back on now. But if you're not seeing the story, that's the one thing that's big for me is story. So no matter what I'm looking at, if the story doesn't drive me, no matter how much CGI or so much greatness or so much, effects they put on it. If the story's not driving me, I'm gonna have a hard time, like enjoying it, to be honest with you, unless, unless they go heavy on the action shit to where it's like, okay, it's just more of your regular thing than just, we're trying to tell a story here. We're trying to emerge a character that you'll be seeing in other movies or whatever, who knows? Like Hardcore Henry, for example.
I still gotta watch that. I've had it sitting there for so long. I started watching it at one point and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not not awake enough for this. This is gonna be an intense 90 minutes or 80 minutes or whatever.
Now there is a story that drives, but if I'm just saying if there really wasn't, I wouldn't be too mad at that. It's still
no, because it's pure style.
Never really dealt with like a first person type situation like all the way through.
Not in that way, no. It's even like the movie, you ever see Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen?
It gives more than that. It gives fucking like that, and then you're able to sort of like respawn, and then you're dealing with this other guy who's got like all these different like sort of like AI clone type situations. I don't want to ruin too much for you, but it's a lot.
But I was more going for like, the story element of it. It's like Shoot 'Em Up has a very loose story. That's a film that was sold on I think it was sold on mock-ups of the actual shootouts in the movie, like the action sequences. So when you see the story, it's like, it's pretty sort of, there's not a whole lot there. There's enough to get you through, but it's really just, it strings together all these giant action set pieces. But it's done, I think, in the right way, where it is like, I think it's done properly.
It's sort of like a sci-fi action version of Get Out, in a way. It's like these guys, it's like this girl and then this other guy that's supposed to be like this villainous enemy of his and whatnot with these powers. But it's like they're creating these guys, making them think that they're like, see, I don't want to ruin. You say you want to see the movie. I don't want to ruin this.
Yeah. Just shut up.
what I'm telling you, there is a story there, and it's a very weird one. It is a story that drives it. It's like I say, it's very, very weird. You know what I'm saying? They don't give it away when you first. They don't give it away in the previews, but when you start to, but you immediately get into the story of it, like right at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Right from the offset. That's for sure. They'll start feeding into exactly what this whole thing is about, and everything like that.
Yeah, that's one of those movies I saw, like, it might have even been a teaser trailer. I saw the style, I saw just how fucking mental it looked. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I don't need to know anymore. I'm in.
So what kept you from watching it?
I just keep piling things on top of it. Same thing that keeps me from watching most things. It's like, I could watch these things that I have here, or I could just make the pile larger and get to a point where it's like, fuck, what do I watch now? You never get through it.
So
I'm gonna put that at the top of the list now to get through the goddamn thing. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
So, any more to say about Invincible?
Overall, I think Invincible Season 3 was pretty good. I thought the final fight scene between Conquest and Invincible was probably the highlight of the entire season.
Like 40 minutes long or something like that, maybe more.
It was the entire episode, I think.
And the final probably 5 to 10 of the previous too.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, did you see Eve being Phoenix coming?
No, I did not. Well, yeah, sort of.
There's another thing I wanted to bring up. I thought that the relationship between Eve and Mark was a bit rushed. I didn't like how quickly the relationship was moving.
No, really, really, everybody. I think the majority of people, or at least a good amount of people, felt like that should have been the pairing in the first place, not him and Amber. That was just, you know what I'm saying? It was based on a lot of weirdness and a lot of just show off. I mean, it's I just don't get what she wanted. How long she knew he was a superhero or whatever. I just something like her whole like their whole relationship and things gives me a whole lot of questions about what her motives really were. You know what I'm saying?
But
Not in
what I mean is that them getting together is not what I had a problem with. I just think that once they got together, I thought they were moving a bit too fast.
But they did acknowledge that, though. Like the
but I mean,
characters themselves did acknowledge that.
but the initial comfort was there, and it should have remained because these are people who went through a lot of hell together and everything like that. You know, they understand what it is to have these powers and the responsibility of it, and you know, and can relate to each other, and that comfort, it made them want to seek and hold on to that comfort because you know what I'm saying because very few people can understand what that truly is like. And even though he wanted to be there for Oliver because yeah, he probably needs it, but even Oliver doesn't really even understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because even within his big brother being invincible, he still acts like an arrogant little prick. And it's just like not like little brother shit. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just more. It's something that doesn't make me feel right about him. You know what I'm saying? At all. And it makes me feel like some other bullshit is happening or brewing like he's gonna be Brightburn. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier when we were talking about Oliver. Actually, I forgot to say it. Like you were talking about how he just sort of shrugs off death or killing.
Not even so much. Not even so much that.
It's just like I'm just sort of like, you know, if I imagine myself at that sort of age and I'd gotten those kind of powers, I'd be pretty fucking heady about it too. I'd be like, yeah, I could do anything. But if I killed someone like that, I don't think I'd just be like, what? Was that wrong? Should I not have done that? And then that sort of just nothing feeling about it.
Yeah, I get that. I just this is the overall. I mean, it's just the overall. You know what I'm saying? When you have a big brother that you act like you look up to, it just feels like. And then when it was like on that underside, I just feel like because one is going to inform into the other, you know, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it is with family or siblings or whatever, but either he looks up to Mark or he thinks he's better than Mark. You know what I'm saying? One is, you know what I'm saying? One of those is real. I don't know if they can both coexist. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they can.
At the moment, I think he thinks he's equal for the moment, which that by itself is a problem because he thinks he has the same level of experience with everything. He thinks he knows just as well. He could do the same just because they have the same powers. But that's obviously like there's no way that's not going to progress into what you just said.
And it's not even that. It's like he wants to recount what happened, what you know what I'm saying, what his dad did, as if it's not a foregone conclusion. Like it's those moments that give me the most concern about him. It's like how can you still want to review, you know what I'm saying, what happened, as if you know what I'm saying, as if your perspective is going to change what the fuck he did.
So,
none of your perspective and how you feel about it, how you feel about
him. Body to murder a whole bunch of people, but you know that's not all there was, right? It's like no, that's the thing.
Like I think what some people need to say, and I say it to my kids all the time, and like sometimes you know all it takes is one moment, and sometimes that moment can be so monumental that it overshadows just about everything. And sometimes a moment can be just a moment, a hiccup, a speed bump in a situation of an otherwise, overall situation. But sometimes moments can just be so egregious that becomes the focus. That I think that's simple enough. And if he can't understand that, then I would have even more concern about him.
Say, because like, what do you say? Like, he probably did save a lot more people than he killed, but that's not the point. That's quite far from the point.
It's not a tally. You don't. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I say millions. So these 500,000. I mean, come on. We still got a net of 500,000. That's not how this works.
If it's 500,000 bad guys, like straight up like villains, okay, maybe we can have a debate about this. But just 500,000 innocent people, yeah, that's not how this works. There's not on this planet.
You gotta account for organic casualties, I guess, huh?
Huh?
Yeah. Buildings collapse sometimes in the midst of the fighting. These guys are doing things sometimes. You gotta account for the,
Yeah, but when it's just straight up like, yeah, my dad held me by the throat or by the face and pushed me through a train full of people and, brutalized them all to death, split them apart. That's not an organic casualty. That's murder. That's straight up just murder.
For sure.
Because the other one you can have, it's like, I remember being brought up with, was the Brandon Routh Superman, or was it the one that came afterwards, where like Superman? Yeah, no, must be the one that came afterwards with Superman fighting Zod and just destroyed the city. Pretty much.
Because Brandon Routh, I think
that
Superman. I think that Superman was more about like. Oh God! I think they tried to take a different perspective on that one, and I think that's a lot of what hurt him. I think that's a lot of what hurt him in the hero sphere. I think because they try to take a different perspective on since Superman and Clark Kent and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I think they try to lean more in the Clark Kent on that one. I think
it does sound right. Like I haven't seen it since it came out. I don't remember hating it though.
Would you? I mean, am I remembering that right, Charles?
Remembering what right?
The Brandon Routh Superman. I felt like they were leaning more into Clark Kent with that one and less on him being Superman.
Look, I haven't seen that movie in years. I thought that movie was pretty bad. I thought Superman, from what I remember in that movie, was in it kind of.
Mostly at the end, really.
But when he was in it, he didn't really do a whole lot. Yeah, he was just there.
Yeah, see, that's why I was saying I think they kind of, for some weird reason, lean more into him being Clark Kent than less. Excuse me, than less of Superman with some strange reason, and I think that's what.
Yeah, I had a coughing fit. Now you're having a coughing fit. So.
well, are you smoking that mean green like me?
No, I'm dealing with allergies.
Oh well, I'm allergic too. That's why I'm having the tea. I'm allergic.
Sure, you are.
Yeah, it gives you the dry mouth,
That good old cotton mouth, huh?
Yeah, you know.
Hear there's a cure for that.
Hydration, I hear.
That wasn't what I was referring to, but okay.
Yeah, I know you were possibly talking about abstinence, but hell no, sir. Hell no, sir.
Abstinence is for Mormons and the people with the chin beards, the Amish.
Yeah.
but yeah, but other than that, I mean, like I said, overall it was okay. Conquest was interesting. They definitely put Jeffrey Dean Morgan into an animated form of a saying super psycho, introspective, you know, sort of villain.
I will say, like, to Charles's name, where that comes from, when he leaned right in, he's just like, "I'm so lonely." I did almost laugh out loud. I was like, "Where are you going with this? What is happening?"
That's when it really started to click in for me. Like that, like that's when it really clicked in for me. Like Viltrumites are really contradictory. Like
Yeah,
they're really contradictory.
I just need a friend. I just will you go out for coffee with me? Again, I'm so lonely. All right, guy. Like,
I'm like,
get
you
back to
guys
punching
must.
my face, man. This is weird.
I'm like, you guys must.
Did you guys see that video that I shared?
Yes.
Where
Damn it! No, I forgot to watch it. I
yeah,
remember you posting it. I forgot to actually watch the damn thing.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Try and scroll back and find it when we're done.
Yeah.
But I just gotta say, man, I'll just be like, man, they've had so many chances. I'm pretty sure over the time, planet to planet, they've had so many chances to do it differently. You know what I'm saying? I mean, or maybe just not do it and try to see if, what I'm saying, if just basically, I don't know. I guess you're right, Damien. I guess the real way to be able to discuss it would be kind of, getting to the origin, because we got more to the what formed them. But who's at the helm of all of this that decided that weeding out the weaker Viltrumites and getting the stronger ones, and then going out and just creating a vast galactic empire was just like the way of life. You know what I'm saying? It's like gardening for us. You know what I'm saying? It's
But apparently, like,
war's
unless,
life.
as you said, certain internal problems or whatever the fuck, obviously it hasn't been working out, and hasn't been for some time now. If there's less than 50 of you, or 50 of the ones you would actually recognize.
Like if I'm trying to tell you, if I was a spokesperson for fucking Viltrum, I'd be like, Viltrum, where water is life, minus the T and the E. See, that just went that went along real smooth, didn't it? Unless people start thinking about it.
Should I?
What do you think? If you minus the T and the E, what'd you get?
Wait, if you minus the T and the?
Yeah.
No, wait, that's
Viltrum.
back.
Viltrum, where water is life, minus the T and the E.
Whoa. Ah, you're good, you.
See, I'd be a good spokesman. I'd be a good spokesman for Viltrum.
It's too late for me to be solving riddles, Stone. How dare you? Doing puzzles. But very good. Put that on a t-shirt.
I'm just saying. Those guys, I mean, they just look at it like for some reason, but it's got to be somebody that's got to be seen as the most powerful, as of all this. It was at the helm of all of this when all of this got done. I mean, when all this were when they were culling out the weaker Viltrumites, like there was somebody at the helm of this. It couldn't have been just like a committee every single way of this. There had to be somebody at the helm that thought this was a good idea, or maybe one or two, but it just certainly just wasn't all of them doing this, and everybody agreed, and they just I mean, what could it be? That could it just be this like There couldn't have been always a committee. There had to have been somebody at the helms at some point.
Surely, right? It seems like the kind of thing where you would have an emperor or a king or something.
Super badass general. I don't know the fuck. See, that's the
King
whole thing.
shit as fuck mountain.
We need to get into what, you know what I'm saying, what Viltrum is and who, how the fuck it started and who the fuck started breeding these women. Like where are they from? Like what the fuck? Like, yeah, a lot of that we could be able to discuss a lot of what happened. Was this conditioning? This had to be conditioning. Like their whole thing of love and of, you know what I'm saying? All these little things that they try to separate themselves from constantly. There's had to be some indoctrination somewhere in this, I feel like.
It's got to be, because if you're just born with that sort of like neurological fucking wiring, like I don't think there really is like is there like a separating from that, or I don't think you really could learn if that is just the way you're wired.
Now think about it like this. Now here's a theory that I have, just going real scientific here. Just roll with me here, but in some respects, they say certain insects and animals and things, like upon being born, immediately, you know, take on the, you know, just take on things, like they know what to do right from the moment of being born. There's no feeling out period that they immediately know. So like, what if that insect DNA like fucking allow him to tap into like the moment he's born, because he was with them ever since he was a baby, and it completely been under their influence for all that time. And yet as he grows up, he still becomes this arrogant, I got it, jerk, and dad wasn't so bad. What the fuck are they so upset about? Will they ever forgive him? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like this thing. It's like no matter, it's like he was completely under their influence, and he's still exhibiting this personality trait. Like,
because like he was very briefly with Nolan, but it wasn't during his like, you know, conquest phase. It was him in like his soft phase.
But he was still a baby. He was still a baby.
That's what I mean. But like,
yeah,
like the influence, if he had taken any in that time,
okay,
how long that would be, which probably not long, it wouldn't have been anything like that.
So I would just, like I said, so I would just say that maybe the insect part of the DNA allowed him to tap into that, where he's already working from a Viltrum mindset. What do you think about that, Charles?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
What do you think about that, Charles?
Oh.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Oh, okay. No, let me compress this a little bit.
Yeah.
My scientific theory is that that Oliver's insect DNA allowed him, like some animals, some insects are able to know exactly what their functions are from the moment they're born or hatched. Like maybe his insect DNA allowed him to tap more into that Viltrum mindset, you know what I'm saying, right from when he was born. And like no matter the influence that was, you know what I'm saying, that was upon him for the formative years coming up, he still gravitated to that mindset. You know,
so what you're saying is that with his like Viltrumite DNA and his whatever his like insect alien DNA, he's still gonna gravitate towards his I guess you could say his, how do I put this? Basically being an arrogant asshole, basically.
That superior, arrogant Viltrumite, you know what I'm saying? Like very pragmatic Viltrumite nature. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah.
so in other words, you're saying that he will always the Viltrumite part of his DNA will always take priority.
It in the insect DNA is a part of what's feeding that. Is a part of he's able to tap into what the supposed functions or wiring of a Viltrumite is like right at an early age, and he's taking that position like immediately, like where you know what I'm saying, where Mark's human DNA sort of dulled that.
I don't know if I agree with that. Because I think it has to do with how do I put this? I think it has to do with Oliver being a kid, to be honest, and how Oliver is growing up too quickly, and that is also contributing. That is also contributing to Oliver thinking, "Oh, I'm already a superhero. I can do all this stuff. It's fine. I can do the same things you can do." That arrogance is tied to him growing up like at an accelerated rate. So he thinks he can do the same things his brother can do. I don't.
Okay.
So I think what's happening here
Mm-hmm.
is not really tied to his Viltrum like tendencies or even his insect DNA. I think it just is tied to his accelerated aging.
Okay.
I think it has something to do with the fact that he's growing up too quickly. Not in the sense that he's forced to mature. I think it's that he is maturing faster than a normal person would.
Then in that maturing, he still wants to review the atrocities that his father committed. He still, you know what I'm saying, he still he took his own position as far as killing the villains without even consulting his brother at all.
And then when called on it, was just like, what? Like,
Now,
why wouldn't I?
and that much I might attribute to a kid, you know, and things like that. That attitude about it, I would attribute to a kid. But that position, that decision, that conversation that he had with the Maulers, you know what I'm saying? It's different. It's different. It's really different. It's different. And he took a position that he never saw Mark take. He didn't see brutality in that way to where he has a theory on that already. He's gaining the theory. Go ahead.
There is the possibility that he could end up experiencing genetic memory. There's a possibility.
But then that still feeds into the insect thing.
Yeah,
That's what
I was about to bring up. Insects do.
That's almost what it has to be, right?
Insects do experience genetic memory. They do. And so he could end up like the reason why he did what he did to the Maulers is probably because he's experiencing the genetic memories of his father. He could. And he just hasn't told Mark. So he probably already knows the horrible things that his father did.
And yet, and that's the thing. And yet he wants to review it and act like, you know what I'm saying, and try to lighten the impact on it in conversation with Mark. So that shows me, and then even still, like I was telling Damien, like to me, I don't feel like either you look up to Mark and you want him to mentor you into this, or you think you're better than Mark and feel like you'll soon surpass him. So it's really no point, you know what I'm saying, in continuing to listen to him. You know, those two things can't coexist. It's either one or the other. And even and it almost seems like now, like toward the end, Mark is being pushed to a point by his younger brother, you know what I'm saying, to take a new position that he took before him. So just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. So it means, so when you have that situation happen, it's hard to even say that there's an option of him looking up to Mark, because he's now taking his lead in the decision when it comes to, you know, so when it comes to combat with these villains.
And then, because he kind of like he takes a little bit of a step back after that. It sort of seems like he's listening, but then he's clearly got that, just like, yeah, but
I never got the sense. I never got the sense he was really gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? Once he started.
No, it's sort of like that. It's sort of like, you know, when you're told off as a kid, it's sort of like, yeah, I know I did bad, and then it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing what I was doing though.
But I start to feel like that's manipulative, because if I go along with, if I go along with what Charles is saying, and he's maturing at a higher rate along with physically, you know, it's like, and he's got these memories, like it's very manipulative, very manipulative of him to still sort of sink back into the little kid role, the little, you know what I'm saying, the obnoxious little brother role. Like, this is all this is. I think it's a manipulation in a way. Like fucking, yeah, like some Damien Thorne type shit, or even like I said again, Brightburn. Eventually, it'll be a Brightburn situation. And if he feels like he's equal now, and then you give him to when he's about a fucking teenager, or he's almost 18, where do you think he's going to feel then?
Which is, at this rate, a matter of maybe a year in their timeline, something like that. Like, it's probably not too far off.
Like, they're like I said, I almost feel like they're introducing Brightburn in. They're introducing their own version of Brightburn now. Now he's going from Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice into basically our beginning stages of Brightburn. How long before he kills? How long before he drops his mom from a high? You know what I'm saying? From a high. You know what I'm saying? From astronomical heights. How long?
I do have concern for the mother. I just get this. There's just, I don't know.
What you think, Charles? Am I reaching? Am I reaching?
Constant feeling something's gonna happen to that woman.
Look, you know me. You know that I look further into this to know what's gonna happen far ahead. And I'm just gonna say this right now without spoiling anything. You're reaching.
Jack reaching?
Okay, so Oliver does not. So Oliver does not Brightburn, huh?
No, he doesn't.
So I'm surprised by that.
Does he burn bright?
So he actually. So you know what? It's not a spoiler for me because I actually need to hear this. So he actually learns to become, you know what I'm saying, a solid hero.
He learns to become a hero. Yes, he does. At least in the comics. They may take it in a different direction in the show, but in the comics, he learns to become a hero.
So Charles,
I think they're stuck pretty close so far. So
he was this obnoxious in the comics.
That I don't know. I'm just going according to the preliminary information that I found. In the comics, he does become a hero. Yes.
But I really want to acknowledge, because that's going to be a big part there. I want to know, how was he in the, you know what I'm saying, in the initial growing pain stages that we're seeing? Like, was he this obnoxious? Was he this arrogant? Was he this so sure of himself? You know,
in the skimming that I did, yes, he was a bit of an obnoxious prick.
I just feel like that's dangerous for a kid like that already to be that arrogant, to be that indifferent sometimes to situations, to even but then yet to bring up a conversation about his father and still have this sort of like kid like like viewpoint of it and sort of like emotion of it. Will you ever forgive my dad? Like see, it's just it's like we gotta if you feel like you can be a world beater, you gotta shed that kitty shit for me.
Like, listen, kid, Dad didn't get caught, pissing in public. It was,
He didn't slap a baby one day because he was drunk and not in the mood. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly. It's a little bit more serious than that. It's kind of,
Like, God damn it, I'm Omni Man and I'm off duty.
slap that baby.
Hey, get over it. You can make another. No, I mean, just saying. I mean, this is like, come on, man. I mean, the avalanches, you know what I'm saying, that he caused, the fucking earthquakes that he caused, you know what I'm saying, that day. You know, I'm just saying. I think he even threw a flood in there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just
That does sound right, yeah. A little bit. It was just a little flood. Like, surely they can forgive him for that. It's like, kind of wiped out some towns and,
legit legit, you know what I'm saying, old wives' tale type avalanche for people, the ones they talk about covered the whole damn town. This one actually did. Okay, but it's just like I just feel like those are the moments. It's not about his ability, what he does, what he doesn't do. It's the fact of like to me, he was instant energy right when you first started seeing him, and he was starting to feel like he was getting his powers. Like I instantly got this feeling like, oh my god, he's not gonna fucking he's gonna fucking be an issue. Like he's gonna fucking be an issue. I can already see it. Like he's gonna fucking be an issue. Like it's apparent already every single time, and every time. Oh, I can go. I see. And got straight, just fucking, bro. It's like the way he talks, like it's the arrogance. I mean, like maybe you're right though, Charles. Maybe you're right because he didn't even understand the weight of his own people. Of a pure blood Viltrumite standing in front of him, he didn't even understand the weight of that. Just calling him fucking ancient, you know what I'm saying, or old as dirt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just, so I mean, so I do understand where you feel like the immaturity of youth kind of comes in because he didn't even understand what the fuck was standing in front of him completely. So I mean, I guess I can kind of understand where you're coming from on that, but I still say, like that. Then Mark has to take a more demonstrative approach, but he's not. He's following his lead now. He's made a decision that now, hey, you know what I'm saying? If I deem you to cross that line, you're dead. That's where he is now. And his brother helped him. His little brother helped him come to that realization. I'm just trying to tell you. I don't know why I like playing my man like that. I don't know why I like playing him like that, but
It is what it is.
But with that, if we're ready, we can just go ahead and are we looking to discuss Final Destination 1?
I thought we decided that we weren't going to discuss that, but
oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I currently got nothing on that. I haven't seen I've seen the first 3, but not in. Ooh.
All I'm gonna say is, really that being a teenager at that point, and what you thought all you were looking for was just like the crazy ass kills and deaths in the in the movie, and then you come back to it and you kind of put yourself back in there, but then you starting to see all the other shit that's there, and you see the reason why Devin Sawa ended up being Stan. You start to fucking see, like, when you start to really focus on his role, like, because like when you're a kid, like you're a fucking teenager, you're not focusing on like the depth of the people's roles and what and what they're doing. Like, there was shit going on I didn't even remember.
Yeah,
and it was just like it just gave the depth to it. It's like, man, I get why he got picked as Stan now. For that video, because you could really he really gives good unraveling for a young guy. He
Anybody
really
else seeing this? Are we being haunted right now?
No, we're not being haunted. Okay, I mean it would be David Harbour, and it would be much cooler if we were. Okay, this is just always remember that.
Stone just gave that movie a compliment.
Yeah, that's all. That's been
what
the only.
Fuck?
That's been the
what
only.
Is going on?
That's been the only compliment I've ever given We Have a Ghost, is that they did right trying to pull David Harbour in there. You know what I'm saying? But only he can do so much. And he has to protect himself, and he has to start protecting himself, because you cannot keep having flops. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep having flops under your leadership.
You're not seeing this? What is that? It's a ghoul.
It's not a ghoul, okay?
It must be
unless
a ghoul.
Unless he says chicken jockeys.
Chicken jockey.
Now we have a ghoul. Now we have a ghoul.
Chicken jockey. What did you guys already go over chicken jockey?
No. Hopefully no one here has gone to see the Abomination movie.
I'm not going to see it
looks
time, that's for sure.
It looks lovely.
I'd rather rip my dick off and throw it in the river than
Why? What is wrong with you people? Did none of you like Napoleon Dynamite, Gentlemen Broncos, Nacho Libre? The least of them all.
Hey. No, I don't like Nacho Libre.
That's why I said least of them all.
Yeah.
I own Nacho Libre on DVD.
Good for you.
I have a friend that owns Napoleon Dynamite on DVD, and I watched it once. And I borrowed it and watched it twice.
Did you also vote for Pedro?
No, I did not. But I did enjoy his work in the Crank movies.
God.
Listen, Jared Hess is a fantastic director. He does nuance very, very well. I have high faith in what's his dick's dumb yellow jacket or pink purple dumb jacket. And that's our future Lobo, guys. So even think about that. Look at the dumb.
Who's the future Lobo? I thought Jason Momoa is.
Yeah, Jason Momoa is in that movie wears a dumb jacket that actually looks just like Lobo's jacket, but with sleeves and dumb colors. I'm just saying he's playing almost. If he's got Lobo hair going in this thing, like a long man bun deal. Lobo used to rock a man bun. I'm telling you.
Hold up, no. Didn't at one point he had bangs? He had bangs in that movie, right?
Who?
Jason Momoa has bangs in that movie at some point.
Maybe. Like it's like look, the character is a 1980s once was arcade champion. You know what I mean? So like
an 80s pair to me. That makes sense.
Well, that it makes sense now when you think about that. And knowing how well the director / writer handles these types of quirky characters, I've got faith. I've heard good things. It looks good. I don't agree with the children that it looks like stupid. What more do you want? They're like, yeah, but it looks like real mixed with Minecraft. Yes, you moron children. Yes, it does.
But shouldn't but shouldn't it be like Minecraft made real?
Yeah, that isn't that the same thing? Tomatoes and potatoes both go into the stew.
No,
I mean,
either
the little I've seen, that's kind of essentially what it is.
Either the people are Minecraft animated, or the environment is real, but Minecraft still.
Hey, just a little fun note, a little fun DJR network note.
Just gonna ignore that, and move on.
I don't know what you said because people are looking at me funny, and I just realized something. I am currently doing this from the location. I haven't ever done anything like this here since the very last FGTZ episode. This is where it all ended.
Wait,
so it's like
farewell
a
show that we did?
No, did we do a farewell? No, the last show, yeah, the one that I called fucking the one where I just yelled at everybody, and it was before series.
I remember. I still have trauma over there. I wake up screaming.
No, we had a series too. I mean, but it was all a joke from there. The end of the original FGTZ.
That's right. When you handed over the reins and things went so well.
Oh, it was so good. But anyway, we're off topic. What did Stone say that I should be reacting to in a way?
I don't even remember now. I'm just thinking of my trauma when you yelled at me. And I cried and chugged whiskey.
Did you guys get to this guy's dumb comment? Because it's not true. Dangerfield was very fine in that movie.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was meant to be cringe. It was meant to be awful. He was meant to be a monster in a sitcom setting.
So what's this? You're attracting Juggalette fans now, huh, Damien? You got a little Juggalette fan base?
I guess so.
You're getting whoop whoops, buddy. So what's up? Are you gonna go like family?
Am I allowed to say I like Twisted, or is that sacrilege? In the
they don't even know what's up in that community. They don't even know their own damned rules.
I think I've heard I want to say 2 ICP songs ever. So yeah, I'm a big juggalo.
Really? 2 ever?
One because it had Tech 9 on it, and the other may have been for the same reason. It's possible I've heard others.
Those might have been Twisted songs. Those might have been Twisted songs with them on it. But listen, if you like the jerky boy, I'm only talking about 90s, early aughts. The first 6 Jokers cards. Even the 6th one, arguably, you could skip, although it's a fine album to cap off that run. If you like the Jerky Boys and you want to like just kind of like it's like a more elaborate Jerky Boys but rap version. That's kind of what ICP is for those first 6 Jokers cards until it went all cult weirdo and serious. Yeah, and also, you know how they sued the FBI? I just learned this. Not that part, but I learned what I'm about to say.
The first part sounds like vaguely familiar, but I don't know anything.
There was this massive documentary that nobody watched on Amazon or something, where all the juggalos, there was like 1 million juggalo, which is like 12 juggalo march on Washington, where they protested the FBI designating juggalos as a gang. And they had all these.
Yeah, I remember that whole thing. Yeah.
You remember this? And they had all these fucking cases like, oh, my kids got taken away, or maybe it was my kids got taken away because I was juggalo and they put me in the gang unit, and then all these stories. But then I hear it from Twisted, and this is why this was the big divide between them, was that they didn't want nothing to do with that because there was no designation. They were assessed as a gang because people would get arrested and they would see the recurring hatchet man. So for a year, they were assessed and then they were determined not a gang. but ICP just kept running with it for publicity and all the cases. So then they even tried to manipulate them and say, well, all right, if you don't believe in it as an actual definition or a cause, at least do it for the juggalos who you're supposed to, they supported your career. And then they're like, all right. So they look into it, and each case was like, nah, he didn't get his kids taken away because he's a juggalo. His kids got taken away because he had fucking bundles of heroin in his house when he got raided for being a dealer. And each one of the stories had something to do like that. So their whole suing the government publicity stunt was all fucking real nasty, shady snake oil bullshit.
Yeah, because the way I heard that was that it was fact that were designated as a gang. But
that's what I heard too.
That all makes so much more sense. Like, yeah, I could see like investigating that if you keep coming across the same symbol over and over with all these different things. Like, yeah, you're gonna be like, is this something?
I was in that unit. I was arrested with this during that time. They didn't put me in no fucking unit. They didn't question the stupid thing. They asked you, are you in a gang? No. I crip walk for them when they ask if I'm in a gang, and then I say, no, I am not. I confuse them because I throw blood signs, I crip walk, and then I start shouting Latin Kings, and then they're like, what? And then I'm like, and yet does ho. And then they're like, huh?
They're like, oh, this guy's just fucking nuts. Set him loose. I don't want him shitting in the van.
Well, I just say Anietas, so they throw me into the lady prison, That's a lady gang. My lunch break's over, you jerks.
What do you want me to do about it?
Nothing. It's not really over.
It's
still on. Am I hearable? Was I hearable during that? No, I don't think I was.
Yeah.
I said, I went to the McDonald's, and I walked in the McDonald's, and I decided to just pee. It smelled delicious. I wanted to eat, but I wasn't hungry.
The peas?
I said, you know what? No, not the burgers. The peas smelled.
I thought the exact same thing.
Okay.
The peas smelled like pee, Charles. Stop being ridiculous.
It smelled sweet. Like I put 16 sugars in my coffee. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I definitely would never do that. So I'm going to go back and listen to you guys on YouTube. I'm going to go back and listen to you guys on YouTube. Definitely not going to listen to Tell 'em Steve Dave. Like I've been listening to you guys this whole time, not Steve Dave. So I'm going to go back to listening.
Is there a new one? No, it's Hugh's turn for a new one.
I'm listening to the Omnibus. I'm working my way through the pre-TES. Yo, Kevin Smith is such an annoying. All right, I guess I can break a little longer. An annoying fucking fat jerk. Like, he's just so annoying. I'll leave the fat part out, but he's annoying. Okay, it's this chuckling, this idiotic chuckling at nothing. Nothing very funny is being said, and he just won't stop. Idiotic fucking chuckling, and it's I can't take it. The things with him and Brian Johnson together are just obnoxious because they're having so much fun, quote unquote, but they're really not. Johnson's not even laughing that much. I mean, albeit he's not a big, hearty chuckle guy, but Kevin Smith is literally laughing at every word out of his mouth riotously. And I just can't listen to it. He's choking on himself, and he's just fucking smoking pot the whole time, and he just sounds like a dork, dumb idiot. And stupid. I hate it. I just got cursed by Kevin Smith. He made me sneeze, little prick. He's fucking put out magic there. Oh, I bet you he like signed up with some sorcerer, and he's like, listen, anytime somebody says something bad about me, I don't want you to hurt them, but like maybe like make them sneeze or tickle their butthole a little, like give them a little butthole itch, like right in public, especially if they're walking and they can't scratch it, like a real big tickle that feels like a worm even, and you make freak out their head.
Make them get slightly hard for 15 seconds.
Yeah. Random, spontaneous erections.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin their whole day, but enough for people to maybe notice for a little bit. Make them embarrassed.
Well, little as Kevin Smith know, they'll never notice. Wait.
Wait, yeah, jokes on
Uh,
him?
I was talking about Stone, not myself. I was playing the character of Mr. Harold Stone.
Mr. Harold Stoner. All right.
10. Stoner 10.
Stonerton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is I, Mr. Harold Stonerton, a friend of the chicken jockey.
Are you trying to turn me on right now? Fancy meeting you here. Me?
Would you like to suck my dick? I mean your dick. It's not gay. It's
I
fun.
would. No, it wouldn't be gay at all. I would very much like to put your penis and balls into. I feel like I'm turning more into what's his name, Mr. Jay Peterson from Seinfeld. Like I fall somewhere between a Barry and a Peterson, more like a Dingleberry than a Matt Berry.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Charles, you've returned just in time for us to suck on each other's penises.
Would you like to
You don't
watch?
have to join.
You can just enjoy from a distance.
We're going to have some hot mat on mat action. Do you want to put my berries in your mouth?
I can just dangle them if you like. They don't have to go in.
It's very goodbye. Goodbye. I won't stand for this. Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
Balls. Shit. I broke it.
Good.
I broke
I hope
it.
it hurts.
It hurts a lot. It hurts very
Now
much. I don't know if you can. Oh Lord, I'm fucking broken. I don't know anything. I don't know how any of this works. It's broken.
Damn China. China. Still see him, but I don't hear him.
All right, I'll remove him.
He definitely broke it.
All right, he's removed.
Stone, come back. We're done. I don't think we got anything left to cover.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah. But, yeah. But this is actually a perfect opportunity for me to ask, since Stone isn't here, I'll just ask you, when should we start our coveted Tromathon?
Oh, spoilers.
Our audience knows about this.
No, I don't think they do.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, yeah, definite spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're planning to do a trauma marathon with very selected movies from trauma's history.
Yes.
And as far as when should we start that, I guess we'll have to coordinate it, figure out, like I'm good whenever, but I guess talk to Jim, talk to Stone, and figure out like, I guess how many movies to do per episode and whatnot. But I say soon. It's the only thing that's really coming up that I want to cover is the final season of You.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch You.
Like, if you don't feel like going through the whole thing, there is I think it was it must have been I think it was an official Netflix thing. It's like a 17-minute recap of the first 4. But it is a very solid show.
The only reason why I avoided the show in the first place is because I thought the character was too creepy. But I don't know. It's just I saw the trailer for the final season, and it seemed interesting.
He's sort of he's an interesting mix of creepy and, like, believably charming kind of thing. Like, you sort of see, you're like, okay, I can see how this guy gets away with these things.
Isn't this final season like the 5th season, or is it the 6th season?
5th, yeah, 5th.
Okay. How has he not been caught yet?
Often sheer luck, sometimes extremely good planning. It's a mix of things.
I mean, like, I would assume that every woman that he has obsessed over in each season has ended up dead. Because they... So I would assume that there are bodies that have piled up. And when there's bodies, there's evidence. And when there's evidence, there is a detective that is looking for that stuff.
It's true.
People go missing. So, yeah.
Well, I figure you don't mind spoilers.
No. To be honest, I don't care. I really don't care about spoilers in this show, so just tell me what happened.
Yeah. Well, the girl he was obsessed with in the first... the woman he was obsessed with in the first season, when she was dead, he used... he pinned her death on her... was he a therapist or professor? Someone she was closely linked with, he used to frame him because he was getting close to some shit. So there's one you can sort of write off. Oh, you're testing my memory now. So much happened. But basically, yeah, it's either sheer luck, some good planning, or a mixture of both.
Yeah.
That allows for these
Quick
things.
interruption. Did you point out in the time it took me to get into this that you is literally Dennis Reynolds from Always Sunny? If he was a serial killer, like they're following that secret plot.
Pretty much exactly, yeah.
Because of the implication.
I mean, it's got its variances. But also for the Trauma Marathon, I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's a perfect tease. We're going to have to put out a list of what people should watch, and we should probably do like 6 movies at a time so this doesn't take 8 weeks. I mean, let's be honest, most of their movies are shit. You're going to fast forward half of it.
Watch it 1.5 speed or something.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, back to driving for me. I just wanted to say that. Looking forward to it. The first batch of the Trauma films are a bunch of sex comedies. One of them has Vincent D'Onofrio in it.
Oh.
Good day. I came for the penis tickling, and I didn't get any.
Came for and came from. What a mo.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I also know that in one of the seasons of You, the actress Tati Gabriel is the woman that Joe fixates on. She's a black actress.
Okay, that'd be season 3. Yeah, I think 3.
Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Tati Gabriel. I'm not the biggest fan of Tati Gabriel as a person because I think she's a bit of a loon. Like she is kind of unhinged as a person. Yeah. Like like recently when she was at some sort of award show and her outfit was very questionable, and
like questionable as in revealing, or questionable as in like that bullshit that you'll see people wearing it, like the Met Gala or these fucking fashion events where it's just like, what even is that?
It's both. It was revealing and it was that as well. and she went on this whole like rant talking about what it was like being a part of the LGBTQ plus whatever community, and
The
saying
alphabet
that
people. Yeah.
the alphabet people, and she was saying that people need to be forced to accept people like that, and that
And
anyone who doesn't accept us, they're in the wrong, and they need to be educated to accept us. And I'm like,
that is why people turn on you. Because
yeah,
of
exactly.
mindsets like
It's just
that.
like I just sat when I watched that interview that she did. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with her?
It's like most people, I would honestly say the majority of people, if you're just like, yeah, we exist, people are going to be like, yeah, fine. But when you come along with a hammer and you're just like, no, we exist. And you're like, yeah, I know. It's like, but you have to accept us. It's like, I already do. It's like, no, you're not accepting enough. And you keep coming with that hammer. Then people are just like, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not as cool with it. I still don't really care, but I'm also not going to go with you on anything. I'm just going to, no.
Yeah, I don't like Tata Gabriel. Like, the first time I became aware of her as an actress was actually in the show The 100. The 100.
I'm not sure, like, how do you spell it? Is it like TATI, as it sounds?
What? Oh yeah,
Like, how do you
it's
spell it?
her name. It's TATI. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Tati Gabriel.
Yeah, just the first picture of she looks like a lunatic. She's got her hair dyed like white, and
Yep,
I think she has no eyebrows.
yep. Tati Gabriel has been in several things since the 100. She was in what? She was in the Uncharted movie that starred Tom Holland.
Which I still haven't seen. I watched a little bit of it, but it seems like it's a weird smash up of like the first 3 games, which I don't understand. Like, why would you?
I never
You
played.
could have.
I never played any of the games past Uncharted 2. So
Like, each game you could easily make a movie out of. You don't need to smash them all together.
you could, yeah. She was also in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She was in that too. I liked that show. I thought it wasn't bad.
Is that like the CW show? Was it CW?
No, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina was on Netflix.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, good.
Took an extended butts asleep break. Whew.
Yeah, I don't know her from anything but you.
Yep.
Apparently she's in The Last of Us Season 2, but I haven't seen her character yet, so it's only 1 episode in, so that's not surprising.
She's also going to be the main character in Naughty Dog's next game, which is called Intergalactic.
Okay, I've seen the trailer for that.
Yeah, she's going to be the main character in that game. Which a lot of people were ripping on that game just because people. Wait, what is this?
Like, the game itself looks like it could be interesting. It's just like, why does every character have
Stone,
to be
why are you showing that?
I missed it.
Well, showing my degree.
Yeah, it reveals your name, dude. What the hell?
Oh, what do I care?
He's not particularly secretive about his name.
No, I've never been. I'm a journalist. I'm a face man. I'm not scared of that shit. You know me. I'm a fucking reckless, confrontational person, Charles. You know me. You know I don't care. You don't care about that. I'm like the middle child of like, you know what I'm saying, like life and like social media. So like I'm from that era where we didn't care about doxing. Oh my god. That's the worst.
Like, you know where I live? Good. Fuck you.
That's the worst mistake you can make, because then once you open up that type of thing, then they open up themselves to more, to more intrusive tactics,
Yeah.
and things like that, so then the doors open. Once you open that dark door, then all the nasty little tricks can come out then. So
Yeah.
That's why I'm just like, look, man, hey, that's why I say, look, you might as well understand there's a reason why I put my name out there. You don't want to go fucking around with me. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'll just go fucking around with everything. You know what I'm saying? I'll just start fucking around with everything. I mean, just the troll hunting is just the first place that I'll start. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
I've got
me. I'm just stupid. I'm just like, yeah, that's my name. What are you gonna do?
I've got some
Go ahead,
experience.
take a 17-hour flight. Come fuck with me.
Google Plus helped me train in my 20s to be an efficient troll hunter. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't play around with that. So yeah. You get into that with me. You know what I'm saying? It's a rough.
The end of the Wild West on the internet. Google Plus.
Oh yeah. It was quite a place. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it while it lasted. Yeah, I got to meet these guys. I got to meet these guys, as a matter of fact, through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I remember that.
So that was definitely always a big plus for me. That was one thing.
The only reason I use Google Plus is because I didn't want to use Facebook.
but like I said, Google Plus, a lot. Like I said, so many communities and so much. Like you could just write paragraphs and stories if you wanted to write them in them damn posts. You know what I'm saying? You could just go. And you know what I'm saying? You wanted to say something, everybody wanted to be original. They wanted to put out their own fucking content. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Some people were glad to share other people's original content. I mean, and that's always was fine. But it was just, like I said, Google Plus was just a fucking great place for community, for real community, real social networking. It was fucking fun. You know what I'm saying? I fucking enjoyed that place. It was like not a place there's another community you couldn't imagine. You could imagine communities but like they were there. They were already invented. You know what I'm saying? It's like fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, highly enjoyable place, but then you had those like
until Google felt it was necessary to shut that place down, which I thought was a sad time.
Well, because Anonymous was up there, they had their own community up there, which I got embedded in for a while, and they discovered Spectrum. You know what I'm saying? The Facebook Homeland Monitoring Program that they were working with the government with, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they found that out, and Google Plus started to be in its last days, after that, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's pretty much the timeline as far as I see it. Like after they revealed that that Facebook was working with the government using a program called Spectrum to monitor U.S. citizens. Like after like a little while after that, I was starting to hear that Google Plus was starting to end and all this type of shit. Yeah, because then we started to realize that Mark Zuckerberg he owns so he's connected in Google and all that shit. Okay, so we all know and everything like that. So shut down time.
Now it's deal with the pretty much what is mostly a wasteland of social media, or find a specific forum or something that will work, but not in the same way, because it's not open in the same way.
Instagram has begrudgingly become number one for me right now.
It's definitely the better of the options. It's one of those, like, pretty much, I think I've said this before. I go there, I see stuff about games, titties, stuff about movies, more titties. It's a nice scroll. I'm not seeing all this fucking shit I don't care about or don't want to see. Yeah, there's a cute dog, more titties. Another cute dog next to some titties. It's good. Good system they got set up.
And not to be an asshole, I just want to check in with you guys. How are you feeling about 3 hours at this point?
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think 3 hours is a good place to continue.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now, I guess, is take the weekend. We'll take the rest of the weekend to decide what's the next thing we want to add on, because I guess we're taking on the Final Destination Challenge.
You know what? I could probably get the Final Destination movies out of the way by next Saturday.
But
All
also,
of them?
You is this week.
Huh?
You is this week.
Oh, you. That's right. I'll need to go through that. So either Final Destination or you. So which one?
Maybe just one at a time if we're going to be doing you, because again, very involved story, and
Yeah.
who knows, and we have some theories about where it's turning. I mean, we might even need to do we probably should do a prep up. We probably should do a little bit of a prep up for this one. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure because oh God, okay. We know what we were. We knew what we were with that. I mean,
Well, as I said to Charles before, there's I think it's like a 17-minute season 1 to 4 recap on I think it was just Netflix's YouTube channel. I'm fairly sure.
no, I'm fairly good though, because yeah, with him, patterns are big. Patterns were always big with Joe, and it's like, yeah, he loved to talk shit about the rich, the influential, the powerful. He always loves to be right there with them for some reason, and that's where he found himself last. That's where we last found this. When we last found him, and trying to see what he was going to do. You know what I'm saying? To return back to New York, what that was going to be like, and everything like that. How are we going to approach this situation now? Yeah, I'm still there. I'm still there. I'm just interested on what the decision finally was. So that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. Just kind of seeing how are they going to handle his return back to New York? Because that is an interesting question. That is quite the interesting question. So it's a lot left undone in New York for him to be coming back and thinking he has enough money enough money and power to stave off that situation. Because I mean, it's still a situation. We agree.
That's it. Well, based on the trailer, it seems like being rich and in the public eye may not be the best thing.
Oh yeah, this is going to be
or it could be a red herring, and that's almost just we'll see.
All right. Well, at least we know where we are with this now, and can. So we ain't got. I guess we've done as much prep as we needed to do, unless we wanted to do our own personal thing. But yeah, we definitely did some prep on this. I'm definitely back in the mindset of. I remember that last part, that interview, and him sitting beside her. God, I was like, what is this now? What is this new form that he's going to take now? You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't completely suss it out. Like, because this is different. Like this is a little bit of a different situation he's boxed himself into. So what form will he take to, you know what I'm saying, to be able to maneuver? It's very interesting, I guess. So it's
that's it. Like, how do you escape the top floor?
Say again?
How do you escape the top floor?
The top floor. What am I missing with that? What am I missing? I know it's got to be connected to something that's going over my head right now.
You're saying like ground level? You can just run right out into the street. It's easy enough to get away.
Oh,
you work your way up and up and up and up, and eventually, where you're gonna go?
But I
was trying to be smart.
Oh no! Hey, no. And that's the thing about it. I was being dumb. It went over my head. I was being dumb, and I would say that I don't know, man. He's never been in this position before. He's always been the poor, you know what I'm saying, interesting book guy, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. He's never been some sort of like guy attached to a rich and powerful, influential woman and family like this. So this is a bit of a different step. Definitely still could be considered top floor, but I don't know. It could be top floor, could have a helicopter on it. I just don't know in this situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
All right,
You
fucking. It's the 16th floor of 32. What do you want from me?
no, you're good. I'm just saying, like I'm just saying, like he's never had this kind of money
Yeah.
and power at his disposal. So it's like, what will this allow? What form will this allow him to take? What will be his next course of action in this? I mean, so all of this just to say, folks, that this definitely still inspires a want to see, what happened. What happens? What is the ultimate? Is this the ultimate reckoning? Okay, does what happened in this season depend on if it should be the last season, or should this be the last season?
Well, I mean, I haven't been watching the show, so I don't know if it would be the last season or not. I don't know.
No, what I'm saying is, so you haven't watched You at all?
Nope. I started the first season, but then I kind of gave up after like episode 3 or 4.
Well, then it's up to you, then, Damien. What do you say?
I'd say it seems like I mean, you keep going anymore, and it's gonna be just dragging it out too far.
I mean, and I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I could see one more season.
Like you could, obviously you could. You could do 2 more seasons, but should you?
So? You think so?
I mean, maybe you can write.
You can do 2 more.
You can write yourself out of fucking anything if you really have the desire to look at certain shows in the past, like certain things just gone way beyond when they should have.
But they're going full circle with this one. They're like this situation he's boxed himself into now is taking him back to New York. So so I feel like it feels like more of a final reckoning on this whole situation a little bit, because there were implications of that with the with the investigator, and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like, with this situation now, like most certainly bringing him back to New York, it's definitely something that he's going to have to somehow face up to in a way, or it's something that's possibly going to pursue him. So it just feels like more like this could be it, because now being at this power situation and more in the public eye, this could be. I mean, if there could be one more season, it would be about the trial of the century. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
If there was anything, there would be one more season, mainly about the trial of the century, and maybe opening up some more doors as to as to Joe's psyche and everything like that. But other than that, that's the only thing I can see in another season. Definitely not 2. But if there was one more season,
I meant it was just like, if they really want to drag it out for whatever reason, they'd find a way, but they shouldn't.
But see, legacy fuck ups are what keep people from wanting to stream shit again.
True.
Do you think the X-Files was affected? You know what I'm saying? As far as nostalgia on the show because of his ending? I do.
Possibly. I don't know if I ever saw the ending.
It affected me. You have. You really have. By watching the show up until that point, you've seen the ending. The ending is the same as it's always been. Except they see more. And then they can't prove it.
So it's just like, all right, back to step 1.
Exactly. That's why I was pissed. Like this is where we end up now.
Really? 12 years, and this is where we end up.
that affected me. And watching and keeping up with shows, you know what I'm saying, long term, it affected me. I didn't have it, like I didn't feel like I had it in me to invest in shows like that anymore, season for season, because like I did it, man. I fucking went all the way, and it was just another show, except we saw more. That's it. That's it. We saw more, and it got buried as usual, and they barely escaped with their lives, and nothing else.
The end. Thank you.
That was it.
Let the door hit your ass all the way out.
That was the end of X-Files. Am I wrong, Charles?
Wrong about what?
The end of X-Files.
And I don't think I ever watched the end of X-Files.
What?
Wait, hold on. Which version of the end? Are you talking about the original end, or are you talking about the revival end?
The original end. The disappointing end. The usual X-Files episode end, where they, you know, except like I said, except in the final episode, you see way more, but it all still gets buried, and they barely escape with their lives, and they have nothing else to show for it. Period. That's it.
I think I may have only seen that episode once, and it was years ago. I barely remember it. The only thing I really remember is Mulder standing at like the top of some stairs, and he's looking down at something, and that's really all I remember.
Yeah, all the evidence they can get. All the truth that remains buried is still out there that they can't get, that they can't access. That's it. That's all it was. So disappointing.
I need to go back and watch the X-Files. It is due for a rewatch.
That's the whole problem. That's the whole thing I was telling Damien about. Like, I'm just that affected me. I've never really gone back to X-Files. You know what I'm saying? In the same way at all. Like I've over the years now, since then I've separated from it. I've watched a show or two, but not really, because it was so fucking disappointing to get all the way to that and to have it just be that. Just hella disappointing.
But did you at least watch the X-File movies?
No. Told you, like, no. When that show ended that way, I didn't want anything else to do with X-Files for a long ass time. It was.
I saw the first one, but I think that came out during the show, didn't it?
I want to believe.
Guess.
I don't even know, because like I said, I don't even know.
I could have sworn the first one came out while it was still on TV, but I'm not certain about that.
I'll look it up. The X-Files. They've only done 2 movies.
Only 2? I thought it was 3.
I could have sworn they only did 2. X-Files movies on IMDb. No. Oh no, they actually did do 3. No, they did 2. They did 2. The first movie was just called The X-Files, which came out in 1998.
Yeah, that definitely would have been while the show was still on the air.
And then the second movie was The X-Files I Want to Believe, which came out in 2008, 10 years later.
Okay. Yeah, I never saw that one, I don't think. If I did, it didn't stick in the brain at all.
Well, from what I remember, well, at least according to the reviews here, The X-Files I Want to Believe did not do well in the box office.
No, whereas I remember the first one, I don't know how well it did, but I don't think it was well received critically either. But I remember the first movie. I remember enjoying the first movie.
I mean, even if you put aside that it was 10 years after the end of the show, then you have that, you know what I'm saying? You put that to the side. It came after the ending of after a shitty ending of the show. So when you put both of those things together,
according to the ratings here, the X-Files that released in 1998, the movie that is, it has a rating of a 7 with a Metascore of 60. And then the X-Files, I Want to Believe, has a rating of a 5.9 with a Metascore of 47.
Okay. It's not too much difference, but I mean, above a 50 or above a, yeah, like, I'll take a 7 out of 10 over a 5.9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, the small that difference is.
Well, I didn't mean to bring us down this rabbit hole of disappointment. You know, just talking about you and just being as an investment, and you know, there was a lot to unpack with X-Files. I think different things have you know, say require different things. Just like with, you know, what I'm saying, just like with our time travel movie. I mean, time travel show. And why am I forgetting it? Dark. That's not the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to get I just, sometimes my brain always wants to complicate things when it's sometimes simple. It's like, come on, it's a simple thing, man. But my brain doesn't want to believe it. Come on. It's just not
Like,
that.
surely not. It's like, no, fuck, it is.
Not that great complicated show. It can't just be named that, but it is. But yes, but that show, it required more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this show, though very good, it maybe doesn't require 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons. You know, but it's done a lot, but it wasn't a whole lot to unpack. It's done a lot in these seasons, but maybe it just wasn't as much to unpack as with the X-Files or something like that. So, you know, I do think, like I said, at best 5 seasons, and maybe 4. Like I said, it has to be very specific for the trial of the century. That's one that should be one of the big baselines of season 5, if there is one. But if that's not where they would be going with a season 5, I wouldn't recommend it. You know, I would recommend making the full final reckoning here then, and then doing that. Or else, if you're gonna do a continuance, like I said, somehow we're moving to a trial. But yeah, but other than that, I can't wait, and I'll definitely let you guys get to your days. Well, more than you get to your sleeping, of course. And me, I get Saturdays off now, guys, so I'm just able to kind of kick back.
Freedom.
So happy. So I'm so looking forward to having some junk food cereal and just doing that right now. Totally.
Fair enough.
All right. So I guess I'll close this out and we'll start the day.
Yeah, I like you doing that, man. So close us out, Captain.
All right. Well, everyone, I'd like to thank you for stopping by and checking out this week's rendition of TeeHee TV. And we will see you next week, where we will discuss the seasons of the Netflix show You. So once again, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you next time. So say goodbye, everybody.
Good day.
Y'all come back now, yeah. Now, is that the same, or if I do that, can I then say thank you, come again, and it'll still be like I'm being balanced, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's like I'm kind of making fun of both of them, so it's not like I'm really being targeted. I'm keeping balance, you know.
All right, I'm ending this stream.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying. All right, just want to
All
make
right,
sure.
see you later, everybody.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, peace out. Peace.
Goodbye.